What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if Naruto was neglected but the Hokage regretted it? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. Naruto woke up in the middle of his dream. My head, stupid dango, trying to pick on my ramen? I don't think so. He got up from his bed and went to go take a shower. Once he was done he got dressed in his USAL fashion. He opened his door and hoped out his house straight to his favorite little shack for ramen. While he was walking he happened to bump into someone. Not wanting to get hurt he looked down. Oh sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Damn right you weren't paying attention, Gaki. Naruto looked up to see the infamous Anko Mitarashi looking at him with a frown. Oh hey Sakura snake lady. Anko smiled evilly at that but did nothing about it. What's with that sad look, Gaki? Naruto looked down again and sighed. Oh it's nothing, just my birthday, nothing special. Anko laughed. Nothing special, Gaki, it's your birthday, you should be jumping with joy. Naruto growled at that comment. I would enjoy if people treated me nice on my birthday, not call me demon everywhere I go. Anko frowned at that. Oh I'm sorry, I didn't know, but hey, it makes you feel better. People call me snake whore all the time, so don't get so hung about it. Naruto made a growl. Man, I hate this village, I wanna burn it down, Naruto said with an evil glint in his eye. Careful Gaki, keep talking like that and it might come true, Naruto smiled, so that won't be such a bad thing. Whatever Gaki, just don't let them get to you, that's why they do it. Anko grabbed his chin, lifted his head and kissed on the cheek, making him blush like a tomato. What was that for? Anko smiled, just a reassuring gesture. And with that she disappeared in leaves. Naruto sighed, thinking about the crazy snake lady. She's right, I'm better than these people, they can't get me. And like that he saw a mob of angry villagers running at him. Kill the demon, they yelled like a mantra. Naruto panicked and ran away as fast as he could. I hate my life. He ran as fast as he could away from the mob, but they just kept coming. While he was running away he was noticing the Anbu guards that were on the roofs of houses that were supposed to keep him safe were just watching and laughing like chasing a kid down like a dog was normal. Naruto growled. Man, this village is pathetic, I swear if it weren't for the people I care about I would have left this village a long time ago. Meanwhile, Anko was enjoying her USAL dango when she started hearing angry yells. She got up to see what's going on, to only see something that pissed her off more than that traitorous Orochimaru. She saw Naruto being chased by half of the village. Anko sneered. All she wanted to do was skin those villagers alive, but decided to confront the Hokage about this. Hang in there Naruto, I'll be right back. Anko then disappeared in a swirl of leaves to Reaper in the Hokage's office. The Hokage looked up from his paperwork. Anko, is there any reason why you came to see me? Why yes, I did. Half of the village is chasing Naruto down like a dog, we got to do something about it. The Hokage growled. So if the village wants to chase him, let them, he deserves it. Anko looked at her leader with disgust. Why would you say such a thing, Hokage? He did nothing wrong in his life. Yes he did, he holds that monster in his stomach, he deserves to die. The Hokage grinned evilly. If you don't do something about this I will. And with that Anko turned to leave but was stopped by the Hokage. You will do no such thing, he will die tonight. You will go to him and trick him into believing you're there for him, then you will kill him. Anko sneered. I will not, I care for that boy and you should too. The Hokage laughed. Care for the boy? I only cared for Minato, he was noble, not this Leidal demon, and you will do what I say or you will never get to kill Orochimaru and get rid of that seal, do you understand? Anko stopped dead in her tracks. She was torn up inside. She wanted to help the Gaki, but if she does she will never kill her old mentor. Anko looked at the Hokage. Fine, but you will never have my respect ever again. And with that Anko left and went straight to Naruto. Back to Naruto. He was dodging pitchforks left and right. Man, when will they give up? Naruto looked at his surroundings to find a way to escape. He found an ally that he could slip in undetected, so he ran for it. When he made it he waited for the angry mob to pass over the ally. When they disappeared he let out a breath he was holding, he's sweating and breathing heavily. Why do they have to do this to me, especially on my birthday? I hate this village. I hate this village, Naruto repeated in his head. Then all of a sudden he heard a noise behind him to see one of the only people that was nice to him, Anko Mitarashi. He smiled with tears in his eyes. Anko-chan, thank Kami you're here, the villagers were chasing me, it was horrible. He hugged her, holding her close to him. Then all of a sudden he felt something hit his face, it was wet. He looked up to see Anko crying. He was confused. Why was she crying? Why are you crying, Anko-chan? Anko looked at him with a new determination in her eyes. The Hokage sends his regards, and with that she lifted a kunai in her hands. Then she stabbed Naruto in his stomach. Naruto widened his eyes. He couldn't believe it. One of the people Naruto cares about just stabbed him in his stomach. Anko started crying again. She turned around then disappeared in a swirl of leaves to leave that spot as fast as she could, thinking that he would die with blood lost. Naruto was started to get dizzy. He looked at his stomach. He was bleeding bad. He was sure he was going to die soon. Tears in his eyes. Why, Anko-chan, why did you kill me? And with that Naruto closed his eyes waiting for death to come and get him. This isn't over, not by a long shot, Kit. And with that Naruto shot his eyes open to not see the ally he was stabbed in but a sewer of some sort. Where am I? Naruto looked around to see if there was anyone else was here. We're in your mindscape, Kit. Naruto turned around to see this huge cage in front of him. He eyed it suspiciously, then all of a sudden the lights inside the cage were lit, to reveal a giant-sized fox with 9 tails staring straight at him. Why do you not cower, Kit, like everyone else? Naruto just looked at him. Who are you? Naruto asked. I am the Kyuubi Kid, master demon of all. Naruto snorted. Are you the reason why people call me demon all the time? The Kyuubi frowned. Yes, because of me I lost. Everyone in the village wants to kill you. Naruto looked at him with a glare. Did you make them hate you on purpose? The Kyuubi growled. No, Kid, the story I'm about to tell you is very long, so I'd sit down if I were you. Naruto then proceeded to sit down and listen to the Kyuubi tell his story, not knowing where his life will take him next. Naruto sat in his mindscape listening to Kyuubi's story, not saying a thing the entire time. When the Kyuubi finished his story is when Naruto decided to say something. So what you're saying is that you were released from my mother named Kushina Uzumaki when giving birth, and then was controlled by a man named Madara Uchiha, then attacked the village while Madara was fighting the 4th Hokage, which in turn was my father Minato Namikaze. Naruto stopped to get a breath of air for talking so long. The Kyuubi smiled. Yes. You seem to be taking this better than I expected. Naruto growled. Well, it's not that hard when you've been chased by half of the village all your life. You get used to stuff like this. The Kyuubi laughed. I like you, Kid, you catch on quick. That's good, especially if you are to be trained by me. Naruto raised his eyebrow. What do you mean, Kyuubi? The Kyuubi moved to turn to look at him directly. Would you thought that since you're my jailer that I want train so you could become weak and won't be able to do anything? Naruto laughed. I guess you're right, but how would you be able to train me in this pathetic village? The Kyuubi smirked. I won't train you in this village. I'll train you in Kumogakure, where my fellow tailed beast resides in. Naruto grew excited. Sweet, I always thought the Hokage was 10 times stronger than the Hokage. Naruto stopped for a second. But how am I gonna get out of here? The guards would surely stop me before I could do anything. The Kyuubi smiled at that comment. Well, that's where I come in. I'm going to ask you something very important, okay? Naruto nodded. Sure, what is it? The Kyuubi had on a stern face. I'm going to need control of your body. Naruto raised yet another eyebrow at him. Why do you need control of my body, Kyuubi? The Kyuubi sighed. Well, as you said, it is almost impossible to get out of, especially since the entire village thinks you're dead. With that comment, Naruto started crying. Anko-chan killed me. Why, Kyuubi? It seems the only I can trust is a 9-tailed demon fox. The Kyuubi frowned. Because this village is afraid of your power, so let me have control. I can get us out of here and get us to Kumogakure. And about that snake girl, I don't know why I thought she liked you. Guess I was wrong. Naruto got up and looked at the Kyuubi with a new determination in his eyes. I'll give you control, just get me out of this village. The Kyuubi smiled. Okay, so what you want to do is peel some of that paper off on my cage. I will release enough Shikara to make in 6 tails. That should be enough to get you out of here. Naruto then jumped up to the paper, peeling half of it off, then was all of a sudden was wrapped around with red Shikara. The Kyuubi smiled. Just sit back and enjoy the show. And with that, Naruto's mind went black for a second till he was back in the alley. Anko-chan stabbed him and he looked down at his wound. It was completely gone except a long scar. He tried to move but came to realize that something else was controlling him. What's going on? He thought in his mind. It's just me, Kid, don't worry, I'll make sure we get out of here. Naruto's body started to shake with power. A red form of Shikara was enveloping his body and boiling his skin. To the point where his skin was melting off of him, making him look like a beast, then bones started to form around his body shaped like a fox. Meanwhile, the Hokage was finishing his paperwork when all of a sudden he felt a strong force he thought he never had to feel again. He shot up from his seat. Anbu, with that 2 Anbu guards appeared next to the Hokage. Yes, Hokage-sama. Alert everyone that is higher than a chunin to main gates of Konoha immediately. The Anbu nodded and flashed away to alert everybody that was a Jonin and up. Back to Naruto. I am going to make Naruto able to talk or Kyuubi when he is in rage mode. Ah, it feels good to be able to smash a couple heads right about now. Hey Kyuubi, if you're controlling me, how can I still see what I am doing? Oh, I just thought you'd like to see the Hokage suffer for what he has done, so I let you still be able to see things around you so you can watch me squish the Hokage's head in. Naruto would use Sally be disgusted with what he just heard, but after what happened earlier to him he just didn't care anymore. It creeps me out that I want that more than anything right now. The possessed Nato that was standing there started to laugh. Well, of course you want to see that the Hokage and that snake girl betrayed you, they deserve to die. Kyuubi, you can kill the Hokage if you want, but don't hurt Anko-chan. When she stabbed me I felt sadness in her somehow, like she didn't want to stab me but had no choice, so please don't hurt her. Fine kid, since you asked nicely, I won't hurt her. Naruto's body then all of a sudden jumped on top of the roof of the building next to him and off he went with so much speed he could match the third Raikage to the main gates of Konoha. When Naruto in six-tailed mode reached the gate he could see a small army waiting for him that included the Hokage, Kakashi, Guy, Kurenai, Asuma, Choza, Nara, Yamanaka, Sasuke's parents and Anko Mitarashi herself waiting for him to arrive. Anko couldn't believe her eyes. There he stood, a form of pure power with 6 tails behind him and bonds covering him. She thought she killed him from blood loss from the stab wound she gave him. But here he is and strong as ever. Naruto looked at all ninja that were there. Isn't this sweet? All of you came to see little old me leave this pathetic excuse of a village. Anko looked at his eyes that were pure white. How, Naruto-kun, how are you alive? I stabbed you, you should be dead. Naruto snapped his head at her. Shut up, you lying bitch, I should kill you for what you done to Naruto, and you of all people should. KNW, it's not that easy to kill a Jinchuriku. Now step aside all of you while I kill your precious Hokage. All of the ninja accounted for formed a diamond formation around the Hokage to protect him, but to only be stopped by the Hokage himself. This fight is between me and the demon. When he is going to do the finishing blow, that's when you guys come in and stop him. Fugaku Uchiha looked at the Hokage. So you're saying that this kid at the age of 6 can stop you? The Hokage, come on, give yourself some more credit. Hokage just huffed. Fugaku, you don't know what we did to him. He is out for blood and he's going to get it. Naruto, having gotten bored of the situation, charged at them with incredible speeds, instantly popping up in the Hokage face and using his cloak of red Shikara created a fist that slammed right into the Hokage's face, sending him 20 feet in the air. Naruto, not wasting any time, jumped up to where the Hokage was at and instantly formed a tailed beast bomb, slamming it in the Hokage's stomach, making the Hokage spit out blood. But before the Hokage flew to the ground, he summoned Enma in his rod form and slamming Naruto with it, making them both fall to the ground. Kakashi, not wanting this fight to last any longer, he jumped to the unconscious Hokage, picking him up and throwing him on his back. He turned to the other ninja present. Finish Naruto, we can't have him alive. The other ninja started to walk towards Naruto, but before they could do anything, Naruto was so fast it looked like he was teleporting all over the other ninja, hitting them in all their weak points. When he stopped, they all fell down on the ground unconscious except Anko. He turned toward her. I won't hurt you, Anko, only on Naruto. Half your lucky snake whore, you should be dead right now. And with that he dashed to the main gate. Oh, here's my parting gift. Naruto raised his head to the sky. He formed up a tailed beast bomb as big as his body, then shot it at the main gates of Konoha, blowing it up immediately, sending the rest of the gate flying off its hinges. Naruto then dashed past the main gates and out of Konoha. Hey kid, are you okay? It took a moment, but Naruto answered him. Yeah, I'm more than okay, I feel great, that was the best show ever. The possessed Naruto chuckled. Good, I was hoping for that. And with that, Naruto ran into a full sprint towards Kumogakure. Killer B was running towards Kumogakure to meet his brother, aka the Raikage, having much to tell him from his last adventure. B, stop. Killer B stopped running to look up. What is it, Gyuki? It took a moment for Gyuki to answer. I sense something very familiar, and that's very bad. B just smirked. What an enemy, sweet, just another story I get to tell, eh? No, you fool, listen, I want you to go check it out. I have a feeling it's Kurama. B raised his eyebrow. Who's that? That would be my brother the Kyuubi, the strongest of all of the tailed beast. B paused for a second. Oh shit. Oh shit is right, and I think he just found us and he is coming straight towards us. B pulled a sword out from his back holster and prepared for the Kyuubi. B saw a flash of red and there stood the Kyuubi in six-tailed form. B tensed up until the Kyuubi started to shake. Naruto's POV. Naruto was staring at a bulky black dude who had a sword in his hand. Kyuubi, is that the Jinchuriku for the 8 tails? Yes kid, that is the Jinchuriku for the 8 tails, Naruto sighed. Man, he looks like he going to try to kill me. No kid, he's just protecting himself from us, but I'm going to give you control back. You need to talk through him to talk to Gyuki. Naruto paused. Gyuki, he has a name. The laughed. Yes kid, he has a name, we all do. Well, if you all have names, what is yours, Kyuubi? The Kyuubi smiled. I will tell you my name if you can pull this off. Let's just say this is your first training exercise. Naruto smiled. Okay, I'll get it done no matter what. The Kyuubi smiled again. Yes, I know you will. Then Naruto's body started to go back to normal, his skin healing itself on its own. When he was fully back to normal, he looked at Killer B. Hey, what's your name? Killer B was shocked. This kid out of nowhere just asked him his name. Hey Gyuki, is this seriously the Jinchuriku for the 9 tails? It would appear so, just be careful B, we don't know why he's here. Killer B nodded his head. Well kid, I think it's impolite to ask somebody their name first, don't you think? Naruto smiled. Oh my bad, where are my manners? My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Okay Naruto, my name is Killer B, nice to meet you. Naruto smiled. You're really nice, I never met someone as nice as you. Killer B frowned. Where are you from, Naruto? Naruto frowned as well. I'm from Konoha. I left there when one of the people I loved stabbed me in the stomach, saying that the Hokage ordered her to kill me. After I regained consciousness, I believe the Kyuubi killed the Hokage and helped me escape, and he told me to find his brother Gyuki so he can help me train to be the strongest ninja in the world. After having said all that, Naruto took in a big breath and smiled. Killer B stood there with his mouth wide open. I'm sorry that happened to you, Naruto, but why do you want to become a ninja? I want to become a ninja so I don't have to deal with something like that ever again. Naruto smiled on the inside, thinking that's only half of the reason. Killer B thought it over and decided to help Naruto. Okay, I will help you, but you said that you wanted to talk to Gyuki. Naruto nodded his head. Okay Naruto, just hold still. Naruto listened to B and held still, then he closed his eyes to reopen them. In B's mindscape, he turned around to be faced with the 8 tails. The Kyuubi appeared behind Naruto. Long time no see, Gyuki. Gyuki looked at the Kyuubi. You to Kurama. Naruto looked at Kurama. So that's your name? Kurama smiled. Yeah, that's my name kid, but anyways Gyuki, I need a favor. Gyuki laughed. What, the great 9 tails needs my help? Am I dreaming? Kurama growled. Hey, shut up, it's embarrassing already, just this once. Gyuki stoked to think for a moment. Why Kurama, why do you want this kid to well trained? Kurama looked at Naruto. Because Naruto and I are exactly the same. Naruto looked at Kurama. Kurama, I will do anything in my power to keep us safe. Kurama smiled. I know kid, but not with the power you have now, that's why I want Gyuki to train you. Naruto looked at Gyuki. I'm not really good at this kind of stuff, but please will you train me to becoming the strongest ninja in the world? Gyuki stared down at Naruto. Okay, I will, but on one circumstance. Naruto smiled. Sure, anything. Gyuki glared at Naruto. You must join Kumogakure and do whatever the Raikage needs you to do. Naruto paused for a second to think about his choices, then looked at Gyuki. Okay fine, I will join Kumogakure by your request. Kurama frowned. Gyuki, there's one more thing you must do for us. Gyuki sighed. What is it? Naruto, already knowing what Kurama was going to say. We need you to not tell B anything that we're going to tell you. Gyuki looked at both of them. What do you want to tell me? Naruto smiled evilly. After you train me, I'm going to destroy Konoha. Gyuki eyes widened. Do you even know what you said? This is Konoha, we are talking about the strongest village in the 5 nations. Kurama laughed. If I'm not mistaken, you sound like you're scared, and besides I will be helping him if he needs it. Gyuki sighed. Fine, I won't tell B about this, but if he finds out about us he will try to stop you, and if it leads to a fight I won't hesitate to kill Naruto, or you got it, Kurama. Kurama smiled. If it comes down to that you will already be dead, so we will try to not let that happen. Yuki smiled. Okay, now we got that settled, we can now begin Naruto's training. Yuki looked down at Naruto. Okay Naruto, are you ready to face your hardest challenge? Naruto looked at Yuki with determination in his eyes. Yes Yuki, I will beat anything you throw at me. Yuki smiled. Good, that determination will get you far. I will now end the link so I can let B know on what to do. Naruto and Kurama both nodded their heads and then disappeared, then B appeared out of nowhere. So what are we going to do Yuki? Yuki smiled. That's simple, we're going to make Naruto the strongest ninja in the world. Killer B smiled. Ah, this is probably the weirdest day ever. Yuki nodded his head. Yeah, no kidding, let's just hope nothing too bad happens. B raised an eyebrow. What do you mean Yuki? Yuki simply just huffed. It can mean a whole bunch of stuff, I'm just saying we must be prepared for what is to come. B nodded his head. Okay, I'm going back now, if we're going to train him we need to be somewhere safe. Yuki nodded in approval. Agreed, not, let's hurry on now. B left his mindscape to open his eyes to see Naruto standing there waiting with a smile. Okay Naruto, let's go, we don't have much time left. Naruto nodded his head. Okay B, let's go. And with that they ran to the direction of Kumogakure, not knowing what was to come in the future. Meanwhile in Konoha, the Hokage sat in a hospital bed glaring at Anko. What the hell happened? I thought you killed him. Anko glared back. I stabbed him in the chest, I thought he would bleed out and die, the Hokage growled. Are you stupid? He's a Jinchuriki, he heals 10 times faster than a regular human, you should know that. Anko growled. I wasn't thinking, I shut all emotions and thought just to stab him, I never wanted to, I only did it to have the chance to get my revenge on Orochimaru, so screw you Hokage. The Hokage smirked. Well, it doesn't matter anymore, he escaped, sure to return to finish his revenge, so I need you to live so you could be his distraction so we can put a seal on him. Anko frowned. I won't do it, I stabbed him and now I want my part of the deal, where is Orochimaru? Hokage smiled. He's at hiding in underground hideout in Otogakure, but make it quick, we need you here. Anko laughed. I'm going to take as lulling as I want, I'll be leaving now, enjoy the rest of your night Hokage? Anko said in a growl. Anko turned around and left to leave Konoha. I won't be able to beat Orochimaru all by myself, I'm going to need help, but who? A picture of Naruto flashed through her mind. Naruto-kun, he'll want help, or maybe he will, I know he'll be strong when I find him, so he can help me for sure. With that Anko made preparations for her leave, then left through the main gates that were being repaired by Naruto's attack. Don't you worry Naruto, somehow I will fix what I did and I can take down Orochimaru for good. Anko then dashed toward the forest where Naruto was last seen, hoping to find him soon. Naruto was at full speed towards Kumogakure with Killer B right next to him. Hey B, when we get there what do we do first? B smiled. Well Naruto, we will first have to see the Hokage to see if you will be allowed to join our ranks. Naruto frowned. Will Kumogakure be better than Konoha? I don't know if I could handle something like that again. B frowned as well. Naruto, I promise this place is 10,000 times better than Konoha, and if anyone tried to hurt, they will be wishing to die. Naruto smiled. Thanks B, you're the only person besides Kurama to actually be nice to me. B nodded his head. Of course Naruto, anything, but if you don't mind me asking, what exactly happened to you, can you tell me to the very last detail? Naruto sighed. I don't know, it all happened too fast, I was enjoying my day for once since I saw Anko-chan. B raised an eyebrow. Anko? Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, she's a jonin for Konoha, she helped protect me, sometimes she would actually talk to me, not like the village itself, they rather have strived to kill me. Damn Naruto, I didn't know the entire village wanted to kill you. Naruto laughed sadly. Yeah, well, we had a talk and I couldn't but help but listen to her voice, she was intoxicating. B smiled. Sounds like you really liked Hell, maybe even loved her. Naruto looked at B. Yeah, I don't know, but she was the most beautiful girl ever, no one could compare. B smirked. Well, I don't know about that, I met a couple girls that were really beautiful. B didn't get to finish cause he felt Naruto glare at him. You're wrong B, she's an angel, or she used to be. B raised an eyebrow. What do you mean used to be? Naruto let one tear fall out of his left eye but wiped it away as soon as it left his eye. B already noticed it. Naruto, how old are you? Naruto sighed. 6. B frowned. Those bastards, how could they do this to a kid? Naruto frowned. I don't know B, but all they saw me as a demon. Anyways, after she left to go do something, and then out of nowhere a mob came running at me, so I ran as fast as I could, and then I found this alley that was good to hide in. When the mob passed over me, I heard a noise behind me. I turned around to find Anko-chan over there, so I ran to her. B started to get where this was going. Then I looked at her. She was crying and looked all torn up inside, and all she said to me was, "The Hokage sends his regards." Then she stabbed me in the chest, then left me to bleed to death. B sighed, "I'm sorry, Naruto." Naruto laughed. "Why are you sorry? You didn't do this. Konoha did, but for some reason when Anko-chan stabbed me it seemed like she didn't want to." B raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Naruto sighed. "I don't know, but for some reason I feel like I could read people's emotions, like everyone was an open book to me. You Sally, all I felt from people is hatred and disgust, but when Anko-chan stabbed me all I felt was regret, sadness and despair." B thought about it for a moment. Maybe she didn't want to do it in the first place but was forced to. But hey, that's just an idea, let's not get hasty over here. Naruto nodded his head. "Yeah, maybe, but still does not change the fact that she did it, so I will never trust her or anyone from that village again." "That's where you're wrong, kid. There is someone that you must trust to get stronger." Naruto sighed. "Now who would that be?" "His name is Jiraiya the Toad Sage." Naruto raised an eyebrow. "Toad Sage?" B looked at Naruto. "It's an power few had ever had. I heard it's one of the strongest power anyone could have." Naruto smiled. "That would be awesome to have. It may help me greatly." Kurama growled. "No, you won't have Toad Sage. In order to get Toad Sage you must sign the Toad contract, and I don't want you to sign it. I have my own special contract that I want you to sign." Naruto smiled. "Ah, is Kurama getting jealous?" "Don't worry, there is no better animal than you." Kurama smiled. "Damn right, the Toad are lazy and pathetic, but you can't sign my contract until you have reached a certain level. It will be a surprise." Naruto smiled. "Okay, Kurama can't wait." B decided to butt in. "Sorry to interrupt, but Naruto, can you finish your story please?" Naruto nodded his head. "Sure, as I was saying, after Anko-chan stabbed me she left crying and I could feel myself dying. Then I started to lose conscious. I awoke in my mindscape to find Kurama laying down looking at me, giving me my life back. So I guess what I'm saying is Kurama is my guardian angel." Kurama smiled to himself. Naruto sighed. "I gave him control of my body so he could help me escape. When we were leaving we got intercepted by the Hokage and most of the Jonin of the village, and Kurama did this super cool move on the Hokage. It was complete purple ball. It was small and it was spinning. Then Kurama slammed it in his chest automatically, making the Hokage split blood out of his mouth. It was so cool." B raised an eyebrow. "Well, that would be a tailed beast bomb, but I never heard of it being small enough to fit your hand. I changed it so it would resemble a Rasengan to maximize damage, but the bastard got lucky." Kurama says he made it to resemble an Rasengan, whatever that is. B eyes widened. "A Rasengan? I know that move all too well. Hey Naruto." "Yeah." B frowned. "Do you know who your father is?" Naruto sighed. "Yes, I know who my father and my mother are, but I don't want to even hear about my pathetic excuse of a dad." Naruto, "Why do you hate your father so much? He was a great fighter and even beat me once. Man, that was a while ago now." Naruto growled. "Oh, I don't know how about putting Kurama in me when I was just born. I don't hate him for that, but I hate him for not trying to help Kurama, instead automatically thinking he was a bad person, a demon. He's just like everyone else in the village, too stupid to think about other people's feelings except his village. What a pathetic Hokage, and probably the worst father in the world ever." Naruto started to cry but wiped them away. "No, that piece of shit doesn't deserve my tears. My mother didn't do a single thing to hurt me. Didn't want Kurama to be sealed in me, but was forced to when Kurama was being controlled by Madara Uchiha. When we find that man we will kill him." Naruto eyes changed from piercing blue to fiery slited red eyes. B knew those eyes too well. He was getting angry. B slowed down his pace to Kumogakure. "Naruto, are you okay? You have to calm down." Naruto started to take heavy breaths to calm himself. "Okay, thanks B, but the rest of the story has to wait for 2 reasons. B wanting to know what they are asked. "Oh, and what are those 2 reasons? Naruto sighed. "Because first, I don't want to talk about it anymore, and 2, we just made it to Kumogakure." With that said, B looked up to definitely see Kumogakure just straight up ahead. "Oh well, I be damned, never knew conversations could last that long." Naruto laughed. "Yami, neither. Let's go B, I don't want to keep my training waiting." B smiled. "Oh, before that you got to meet my bro, his name is A, but for now I would call him Hokage." Naruto nodded his head. "Okay, so should NT you go first?" B smiled. "You are right Naruto, I will go first." B then increased his speed to the gate to Kumogakure. The guards that were protecting the gate that day saw B running with a kid. One of the gate guards snorted, "What did B do this time?" And with that B and the Naruto made it to the gate. B was the first to speak. "Hey, we need to speak to the Hokage." The gate guards smiled, "Sorry B, but you have to tell us who is that kid." B nodded his head, "I don't know, I was making my way back to Kumogakure and I saw this kid in the forest all by himself crying, so I took him with me so I can help him." The gate guard looked at Naruto. "You look familiar, do you have relatives in Kumogakure?" Naruto shook his head. "No sir, if it wasn't for this man I would probably be dead." "What's your name kid?" Naruto sighed. "It's Naruto, I don't know my last name cause I've never met my parents, I'm an orphan." Naruto sounded all weak and sad, making the guards feel sad for him. "Okay B, we'll let you in, but make sure you keep your eyes on him, you don't know this kid." B smiled, "No I don't, but I plan to though." The guards smiled, "Okay, welcome back B." Naruto looked at B and B looked at him. "Let's go Naruto, we need to see the A." Naruto nodded his head and off they went to the Hokage's mansion. Passing by many beautiful stores, Naruto looked around and started to cry happily. B looked at Naruto, "What's wrong?" Naruto smiled some more, "Nothing's wrong, that's the point, I have never seen this many smiled around. When I walk by it feels amazing to be treated like a normal person." B smiled and patted Naruto on the back. "Naruto, you're going to love this place." Naruto nodded his head, "Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to like this place." Meanwhile, having traveled a long distance, Anko Mitarashi needed to take a break. "Aw man, this is getting annoying, how in the hell am I going to find Naruto? He could be anywhere, hell he could even be dead." Her heart felt heavy after saying that. "Oh no, don't think that way Anko, he's alive and he's safe." She kept repeating that to herself for a while. She stopped running to make camp for the night. "I guess I will have to start searching small towns first, that's probably be for the best so he could hide." Having said that, Anko laid on the side of a tree and fell asleep instantly. The last word before she fell asleep was Naruto. Anko reopened her eyes to see nothing but white floor, walls, and the roof was pure white. It was giving her a headache. "Where the hell am I?" Ankoheim. Having heard her name, she jumped up a little. She turned round instantly to see an exact copy of Naruto in front of her. "Naruto?" The copy of him smiled, nodded. "What are you doing here?" Naruto smiled some more. "Oh god, that smile is gorgeous," Anko thought in her head. "Ankoheim, I'm here to tell you a message." Anko blushed after hearing him call her Heim. "What is the message Naruto?" "Okay, before I go on, do you remember when Naruto had to fight his evil self to gain control of Kurama? Well, I'm going to do something similar but a little different. I don't want to confuse you readers, so I'm letting you know. Okay, back to the story. The real Naruto needs you." This made Anko widened her eyes. "What do you mean the real Naruto?" The copy of Naruto sighed. "I'm a copy of his good side." Anko raised her eyebrow. "Good side?" Naruto nodded his head. "Yes, the good side. Naruto will soon be going into training with Killer B in Kumogakure H." Before he could finish, Anko cut him off. "Wait, what the fuck, he's at Kumogakure, why is he there?" Naruto sighed again. "That's a conversation for the real Naruto, cause I don't have enough time left." Ankoheim listened. In order to gain control of Kurama, Kurama needed to split the real Naruto's evil and good side in half so he could fight the opposite of what he is now, and right now after what happened he is becoming more evil by the second. But the funny things is he is starting to without can wing it, becoming loyal to Kumogakure and will do anything to protect it. Anko looked down in sadness for Naruto, bringing up what happened before. "I'm so sorry Naruto, I didn't want to do it." Naruto smiled. "The real Naruto knows, just thought that just doesn't know if he should believe it." Anko looked up at the fake. "What do you mean?" "You stabbed him Ankoheim, he doesn't trust you anymore, that's why I'm here. I'm going to help you get Naruto to love you again." "He loves me." Naruto nodded his head. "Yes, but he's losing that love. You need to get him to love you again or he will succumb to darkness and destruction." Anko looked up at Naruto. "What do you mean become loyal to Kumogakure?" Naruto nodded his head in contemplation. "Yeah, it's strange, but for some odd but good thing the villagers don't treat him like shit. He's liking the way they treat him. If this continues he will do anything to protect them." Anko smiled. "That's good, he needs the good positive attention." Naruto noticing her sad but happy aura. "Anko, it's okay, it doesn't mean he stay forever." He saw relief wash over her. "Oh okay, that good." Anko looked at the fake Naruto with a new determination in her eyes. "I will do anything to get him to love me again." The fake Naruto smiled. Good, now in order to get his trust back you need to find Jiraiya. Anko widened her eyes. Jiraiya the Toad Sage. Naruto nodded his head. Anko smiled. Do you know where he is? The fake Naruto smirked. The fuck, I don't know. This is another reason I told you to go find him, so I can know you will really love him. Anko blushed but laughed shortly after that. You got me on that one. Okay, so the only person that would know it would be the Hokage. Damn it, that means I have to go back to Konoha to ask the Hokage to see if he knows. Naruto nodded his head. Looks like my time's up, but don't fret Ankoheim, this is not the last you see of me. I will pop up every now and then, and if you really need me for help I will help you. Anko smiled. Thanks Naruto. The fake Naruto started to fade away then disappear completely. When he was gone Anko woke up next to the tree. I guess I should get back to Konoha now cause there is no day like tomorrow. And with that she ran off to the direction to Konoha. Back to Naruto. Naruto stood there with wide eyes looking straight at the Raikage, and standing next to the Raikage was his assistant. Her name was Mabui. The Raikage was furious. B, why in the hell would you bring a kid here that you know nothing about? B frowned. I know this kid very well. Hell, he basically is my younger brother. This made the A grow a vein. How do you know this kid? B smiled. Well, first he is a fellow Jinchuriku. This made A widened his eyes. What a Jinchuriku? Which one? B smiled more. The Kyuubi. This made A fall out of his seat, but he got back up from the floor and walked to Naruto and kneeled to be eye level with Naruto. What A did next shocked everyone. He pulled Naruto to his chest and hugged Naruto. Widened his eyes. What are you doing, Raikage? The Raikage didn't answer, instead said something else. I'm sorry Naruto. Uzumaki. Naruto raised an eyebrow. For what? For what the village did to you. This made Naruto sad. How do you know? Raikage smirked. I am Hokage. We know what happened to the other villages including yours. Naruto felt really sad for no reason. They hurt me really bad. A nodded his head. I know son, but you're here now and they can't hurt you, no. For no reason at all Naruto started to cry on the Raikage's chest. Will you take it to your village as a ninja so I can do whatever it takes to protect myself and Kurama? The Raikage thought about it for a second. I will Naruto. No one should have to deal with what you had gone through. Naruto smiled and hugged him. Thank Raikage. Smiled. No problem kid, now in order for you to become a ninja for Kumogakure you must go to ninja school. That's when B interrupted the conversation. Actually Kurama wants him to be trained by me and Yuki. I would not want to anger the Kyuubi. A sweat dropped. You're right, don't want that. Okay, but I will only allow this if you take the Chunin exams when the times come. Naruto sighed. Isn't it being held in Konoha? The Raikage nodded his head. The only reason I want you to go is because I want you to send the Hokage a message. Naruto raised an eyebrow. The Hokage is still alive. A nodded his head. Yeah, but Barley, he's lucky you needed to escape or he would have been dead. Naruto smiled. Yeah, it was really awesome how Kurama dealt with the Hokage and almost all Jonins. A sweat dropped. He dealt with all of them. Naruto nodded his head. Yup, then he blew up the main gate of Konoha and then we left to go find B. What is the message? A smirked at this. It will say, Dear Hokage, if you lay a single finger on Naruto ever again you will have war on your hands. Naruto smiled. You would do that for me? Smiled. Of course, you're one of us, and if you're S brother then you're my brother as well. Naruto smiled more then let go of A. Thank you so much Raikage. A snorted. No, it's a now, okay. Naruto nodded his head then looked at B. Are we going to train now? B smiled. Of course, let's go Naruto. Where are we going? To a secret temple behind the Falls of Truth. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Falls of Truth. B nodded. Yup, it's on an island that's actually a giant turtle. Naruto's eyes widened. Whoa, that's cool. B smiled. I know right, well we best be off. Naruto smiled. Okay B, thank you so much, I'll never forget this. A nodded his head. Naruto, why don't you wait outside for a second, I need to tell B something in private. Naruto nodded his head and left it then looked at B. Be careful B, that organization called the Akatsuki are rumored to have been focusing their attention on Jinchurikis, so don't trust anyone. Got you bro, nothing will happen to Naruto while under my watch. A smiled and pushed him out of his office. Naruto looked up at B. Are you ready B? It took a moment but B finally answered. Yeah sorry, just thinking. Alright, let's go Naruto. Naruto smiled then B went into a sprint. Naruto straight behind him. They ran past the guards at the gate waving them goodbye and disappeared into the sunset. Naruto and Killer Bee were heading to Island Turtle where they would begin Naruto's training. Bee turned his head to Naruto. Hey Naruto, I'm thinking after we get you done with Kenjutsu and Ninjutsu and some Taijutsu we will go looking for Jiraiya so you can learn the Rasengan. Naruto smiled. I would like to learn some of your Kenjutsu. I think yours is very rare and I want to learn the lariat and your body replacement technique. Bee raised an eyebrow. Naruto, how old are you? Naruto smiled. I am 6 years old. Bee widened his eyes. 6? Naruto nodded his head. You know Naruto, you're really smart for a 6-year-old. Naruto frowned. Yeah, well, it's not that hard when you have to watch your own back. Since I was able to walk, and Kurama been sharing his own life with showing images and information on all sorts of stuff. He says I'm leering real quick. Bee stopped running, making Naruto stop to wait for him. Wait, if Kurama is giving you information, why do you need my training? Naruto smiled. Well, Kurama says that he wants me to learn the hard way so I can fully understand my strengths and weaknesses so I can improve and make myself unstoppable. Bee nodded his head. That's understandable, I guess. So Kurama told you some of my moves? Naruto nodded his head. Yup, and really like your lariat, it seems so deadly. Bee smiled. Heck yeah, it is. If you find someone to be your lariat brother, it's twice as deadly, cause then the enemy has nowhere to go, so when you and your brother connect, the opponent heads just goes pop. Naruto smiled. That's so awesome, I can't wait. Kurama told me that my affinity is wind and lightning. At first I was mad cause I thought wind would be weak, but after he told me the way a Rasengan would rip the insides of people apart making them die internally, it made it sound so cool. Bee smiled. Well, now that I know your affinity that can speed things up. Naruto nodded his head. I don't mean to be a nag, but are we there yet? Bee nodded his head. Yeah, not too long, just a little bit longer. The first thing we do when we get there is meet all the animal kings that live there so you know the island a lot better. Naruto's sweat dropped. What do you mean animal kings? Bee smiled. Well, to actually stay on the island you have to have permission from the animal kings. Oh, that doesn't seem too hard. Bee nodded. Yeah, since you're a kid they might even like you more out of that. Naruto frowned. Yeah, but I might to be able to use that to my advantage when I'm in fights. They won't know what hit them. Naruto smiled evilly and Bee sweat dropped. Okay, hold your horses, we won't be in a fight for a while. Oh, on the contrary, you're going to be in fight sooner than you think. That made Naruto and Bee turned around to see two figures in front of them wearing black robes with red clouds on them. Bee prepared for battle. Who are you? One of the two had blue skin with gill-like things on each cheek. Oh, who are we actually? Itachi, who are we really? The one on the left, now dubbed Itachi, looked at the two Jinchuriku. Well, we're in the organization called the Akatsuki and we are here for the Biju, would be so kind to give them to us. Naruto growled. Like hell I would ever give Kurama to you people. Bee, do you know who they are? Bee nodded his head. Yeah, Aide told me about them before we left Kumogakure. Apparently the rumors are true, they're targeting Jinchuriku's. Man, that's not good. Bee looked at the blue dude. What's your name? Kisame smiled. Omi, well, why do you want to know? Bee smiled. Cause when I done with you I'm going to take your sword, I like it. Kisame smiled. Oh Samahata, well sorry but you won't be able to. Bee smirked. You'll see Naruto. Naruto looked at Bee. I want you to stay back on this one. Naruto's eyes widened. But Bee. It's okay Naruto, they can't handle the Jinchuriku lord, I will beat them then we'll be on our way to you know where. Naruto growled. Fine, but if they beat you and kill you I will never forgive you. Bee smiled. Neither will I, kid. With that Bee pulled out two of his swords. Okay, let's go. Kisame was the first to do anything. He pulled out Samahata and charged at Bee. Kisame ran at Bee with great speed. He lifted Samahata in the air then tried to slash downwards towards Bee's chest, but Bee easily dodged it. Is that all you got? Kisame smiled. No, that was a diversion. With that said, Bee felt someone grab his left shoulder. He turned his head to see Itachi there about to stab him in the back. Bee smirked then got stabbed by Itachi but surprised both Itachi and Kisame when his body turned into a octopus tail, not noticing the explosive tag on it. It blew up making Kisame sail backwards, hitting to ground hard and made Itachi skid for couple odd seconds. Yo, you guys done it. They turned around to see Bee and Naruto laughing their asses off. Oh my god, that was funny. Fist bump. Naruto and Bee fist bumped and laughed some more. Kisame growled. You think that's funny? Well, let's see how funny it is when you're getting ripped to shreds by sharks. Kisame made a big water ball then put his hands on it. Kisame did the specific hand signs to summon a water shark. Water style. 5 hungry sharks. The big water ball started to split into 5 sharks with razor-sharp teeth that they charged straight towards B and Naruto. B grabbed Naruto and zoomed out of the way of the sharks. Damn, seems like they want quit. Guess I just have to finish this early then. B landed on a patch of grass and let go of Naruto. Hey Naruto, I'm going to do something big here, so you might want to step back by a lot. Naruto, not wanting to waste time to get to his training, nodded his head and ran back to a safe distance. Itachi and Kisame stood next to each other. What do you have in store now, Jinchuriku? B smiled. Your destruction. Then a cloud of smoke erupted around B. It swayed him and grew larger and larger, then it finally stopped to reveal a huge octopus with 8 tails behind him. I don't know how big he is. Kisame's eyes gray wide. Aw shit, now we got to deal with this. Itachi nodded his head. I think Susanoo is needed. Itachi closed his eyes to reopen them, reveal his Sharingan, then a full body enveloped Itachi and Kisame. The large octopus smirked. You think that armor is going to protect you from a tailed beast bomb? B. The octopus looked at his shoulder to see Naruto on it. Naruto, what the hell are you doing here? I told you stay back. Naruto smiled. Well, I was and didn't want to interfere, but then Kurama said he wanted to make sure these two would die, so I going to turn into 8 tails for a second and you and me are going to make a tailed beast bomb together. B rolled his eyes. Fine, but we will discuss this later. Naruto nodded, then entered his mindscape to see Kurama smiling. This is going to be fun. Naruto smiled as well. Yeah, it sounds fun. Kurama nodded his head. Now just peel the seal off. Naruto went right to the seal and grabbed one of the corners of the seal and started to peel it off. When a hand grabbed his hand, he turned to see an almost look-alike but older Naruto, but with the 4th Hokage coat on him. Naruto, what are you doing? He's going to kill you, Naruto growled. So you're my father? I expected something more. The 4th Hokage eyes widened. Naruto, why are you taking this dark path? Naruto looked straight into his eyes. Why you ask? Huh, are you really that stupid? Oh, what was I thinking? You sealed Kurama in me and left me to suffer all my life. You traded Kurama as just a beast, just how the village treated me. Minato sighed. I'm sorry Naruto, but I had to. Minato was going to finish when a fist connected with his jaw. No you didn't. Kurama was being controlled and you knew it, and when you released him he was going to leave. Did you know that? No you didn't, cause you automatically thought he was a monster. You're so pathetic. I thought the village would treat you better. Naruto scoffed at his so-called dad. Yeah, they didn't. The Hokage ordered someone to kill me. Your own son. You're the worst father ever. Minato started to cry. Son, please, you don't have to do this. You can still go back and save the village. Screw the village. Naruto had red eyes and tears running down his face. Now dad, you have something I want. I need to extract it out of you. Minato was confused until he realized he meant the other half of Kurama powers. No son, you can't. You will not be able to control him. Just you watch me, Kurama, and I will be the strongest thing on the planet. Nothing will be able to stop me. Naruto grabbed Minato's chest and a hand sign that Minato has never seen before. All of a sudden the Kyuubi Chikara that was sealed in him on that very sad night. No Naruto, don't do it. Minato tried to do anything, but he was weak and had only a small amount of Chikara in him, so he couldn't move. He saw the Kyuubi Chikara was seeping into Naruto and into Kurama. Son, please don't do this. I see what will happen if you continue this path. The world will bath in blood. I know your mother would not want this for you. Where she is, you're breaking her heart. This made Naruto flinch for a second. You dare use my mother as an excuse to stop me? You're the worst person I have ever met. I hope you burn in hell. When the last of Kurama Chikara was pulled out, you can see changes happened to Kurama and Naruto. Kurama started to grow bigger while signs started to travel all over his body. His eyes grew redder and brighter and he grew a bit more muscular. While Naruto on the other hand was changing similar. His whisker marks started to grow longer and more darker. His canines grew a little bit more, but not much to go out of his mouth, and his hair grew and his muscles grew and he grew to the exact height of Anko. Holy shit, Kurama, that felt good. Kurama smiled. I know I've been missing my full power. Naruto looked at Minato. Thanks, now die. With that said, Naruto grabs Minato's head with the new energy from Kurama. His strength was 9 times stronger. Lol, 9 times, get it, as in 9 tails. Naruto smiled. Bye. Naruto then pulled Minato's head clean off his body. There was no blood, though the body just faded away. Kid, you know that was just a body molded by Chikara. That wasn't the real thing. Naruto sighed. I know, but it still felt good. Kurama smiled. Kit, you've proven your loyalty to and trusted me enough to give me control for a while. I will do anything to keep you safe. Naruto smiled. Thanks Kurama, and I promise to keep you safe too, and as soon as my training is done we will find Madara Uchiha and kill him. Damn right Kid, no one controls me. Naruto nodded his head. Now let's help kill those 2 Akatsuki. Naruto's body, enveloped by red Shikara bones, started to form around him, then internal organs and then muscles, until finally fur grew on him to make him look exactly like Kurama. His body grew to the same size as Gyuki. Alright, you ready to do this, B? There was no answer. Which one is it, Naruto or Kurama? The fox smiled. WGY me, of course B. With that said, the fox's face looked at the sky and started to grow a tailed beast bomb. B, not wanting to wait any longer, joined in on the tailed beast bomb with both of the Jinchurikus going. A beast bomb together, it was growing 3 times the size of both of the Jinchurikus combined. Itachi's eyes widened. This is not good. Kisame nodded his head. How are we going to get out of this? Kisame, I need you to create a ball of water around Susanoo to help protect us, then pray if we will live. Kisame thought for a second. Why can't we just retreat? Itachi frowned. 1, if we tried we will be caught in the blast, and 2, my movements are slowed down since I am using Susanoo. Kisame grunted. Fuck, okay, if we die I will kick your ass in the afterworld. Itachi smiled. I don't know if we will live, but it was fun with you, Kisame. Kisame nodded his head. Yeah, we did have a couple of fun adventures together. They looked at the Jinchuriku's beast ball. At first it was nothing but purple, but then blue was starting to add into it. This confused B. Hey Gyuki, what's happening? He heard Gyuki grunt in his mind. It appears Naruto's Shikara is adding into the mix of this bomb. B's eyes widened. How is that possible? The tailed beast bomb was almost complete. Well, as you know, a tail beast bomb is made up of nothing but pure hatred, so the only explanation is Naruto's hatred that he now holds is adding into the tailed beast bomb. But that pure hatred, how can he have such hatred in him? B was shocked. Well, as he told you, he was born into a village who hated him and wanted to kill him, and his own Hokage that is only to be good wanted him dead, and the only girl he has ever liked or loved, either one, he never had that feeling, stab him in the chest and leave him to die. If you don't have pure hatred out of that, then I don't know what will. The tailed beast bomb was complete. Are you ready, B? B nodded his head. If you mean shooting a tailed beast bomb at 2 people and when it explodes it will scare the earth forever, then yeah, I'm ready. With that said, they both let out a scream, then shoot the tailed beast bomb at Itachi and Kisame. Kisame already formed the ball around Susanoo. The bomb with great speed was going straight for them. Kisame's sweat dropped. What do you expect to happen? Itachi frowned. I expect your ball of water will slow it down enough so my Susanoo has a better chance at withstanding the attack. But to their demise, when the bomb reached closer to them, it heat so intense it instantly dried up the water and collided against Susanoo. Itachi and Kisame were thrown backwards with Susanoo. When they fell to the ground they thought it was over, but they didn't know it was going to explode. The ball grew brighter than ever before and exploded, creating the biggest crater the earth has ever had and shaking all of the elemental countries. Meanwhile, Ankh had just made it back to Konoha. When she passed the 4 gates of Konoha she started to walk to the Hokage's office when all of a sudden the ground shook violently, making several buildings collapse and falling on unexpected civilians, killing them instantly. What the hell is going on? Anko shunshin to the Hokage's office. When she got there the TRMORS stopped. Hokage, what the hell was that? Anko looked at the Hokage, who looked pale and scared. That was a tailed beast bomb, but I never felt one like this before. It was so powerful. An image of Naruto popped up in her head. Naruto? The Hokage nodded his head. It has to be Naruto has the strongest Biju, it would make sense. Anko smiled. Maybe you made a mistake by trying to kill him, he could have been the village's strongest shinobi. The Hokage shook his head. No, he's too much to deal with, it would have backfired on us anyways. Why are you here, Anko? I thought you went to go after Orochimaru. Anko frowned. I was, but then I realized that I would need help, so I decided to get help from one of his teammates, Jiraiya, but I don't know where he is, so I came back to ask you if you knew where he is. The Hokage smiled. Well, last thing I knew he was searching for Orochimaru himself and was getting information about the organization called the Akatsuki. Anko raised an eyebrow. Akatsuki? The Hokage nodded his head. Yes, they're an organization. From what Jiraiya said, they were going to start targeting Jinchurikus and taking the Bijus for their own purpose. That's another reason why I wanted him dead. Anko growled in disgust. You could have kept him protected, it would have made everything so much simpler. The Hokage shook his head. No, like I said, it would have fired back on us, I couldn't risk it, and involving Jiraiya I can send him a message to tell him to come back so he can decide if he wants to help you. Anko smiled. Yes, that would be preferable. Okay, then I'm going to the bar them, I got a massive headache. Anko was in the Hokage's office waiting for Jiraiya to appear. Man, where the hell is he? The Hokage chuckled. Patience Anko, he'll be here any moment. Just then something big and white crashed through the Hokage's window. Ow, that hurt. Anko raised an eyebrow at the big man with really long white hair that was getting the dust from his pants off. Jiraiya, I have someone that wants to speak to you. Jiraiya looked at the beautiful girl with purple hair. Hey Anko, how has it been? Anko eyes widened. How do you know my name? Jiraiya smiled. Would you think I don't know who my former teammate's apprentice is? Anko frowned. I guess. Jiraiya sighed. Enough with the chatter Anko, what is it you need? Anko smiled. Oh, nothing, just your help to kill Orochimaru. Jiraiya's eyes widened. What do you want me to do again? Anko smiled some more. It's like I said, I need your help to kill him, that's why you're here. Good luck girl, I've been trying to find him forever, every time I get close enough he disappears. The Hokage decided to step in. We've found him Jiraiya, he's hiding out in Auto right now, if you both can get there in time you might get him. Jiraiya smiled. Alright, you got a deal Anko. Anko smiled again. Okay, good, now let's go. Jiraiya smirked. Hold on, hey Hokage, how is my godson doing? Hokage stiffened. Oh, he's doing well. Anko raised an eyebrow. You have a godson, who is it? Before the Hokage could stop the conversation, Jiraiya already spoke up. Oh, my godson is Naruto Uzumaki. Anko gasped with wide eyes. Naruto. Jiraiya nodded his head and smiled. Yup, why do you look like you seen a ghost? Anko started to cry. I'm so sorry Jiraiya. Jiraiya started to grow worried. What do you mean Anko, did something happen to him? The Hokage sighed. Naruto has left the village after what we did to him. This made Jiraiya growl. What the hell do you mean what we did to him? The Hokage sighed again. A mob was chasing Naruto on his birthday thinking that he needed to die. Anko here came here to tell me to help him and I told her to kill him. Jiraiya's eyes widened. You did what? You could feel the killer intent coming off Jiraiya. I said I ordered Anko to kill Naruto, he was becoming a liability so he needed to die. Jiraiya appeared right next to the Hokage, kunai pressed against his throat. I should kill you right here, you piece of shit. Why sensei, why would you do that? Naruto needed you to protect him and you tried to kill him. The Hokage grunted. I did it for the village, just like how Minato killed himself for the village. Naruto needed to die. Jiraiya let go of the kunai. Don't you dare say Minato's name, you're nothing like him, you will never be. Tears started to form in Jiraiya's eyes. Damn it, I knew I should have brought him with me, I'm so sorry Minato, I failed you. Jiraiya then turned his head to Anko. Why Anko, why would you try to kill him? I thought you were better than this. This made Anko cry even harder. I didn't want to do it Jiraiya, but the Hokage told me if I didn't I would never get to kill Orochimaru for what he did to me. I had to live with this almost my entire life, so I panicked and I staved Naruto, but he somehow lived and almost killed the Hokage. Jiraiya seemed less angry with her. I'm sorry Anko, but you should have saved Naruto instead. Anko nodded his head. I know, but I have to live with my mistakes, but I need to speak to you privately, so can you step outside with me please? Jiraiya nodded his head, then they left the Hokage's office. Jiraiya sighed. I'm sorry Anko, but I can't help you now. I need to find Naruto so I can protect him. Anko smiled. That's why I asked to speak to you outside. The whole Orochimaru thing was only half of why I needed your help. I know where Naruto is, but the only way I can get near him is if I bring you to him so you can train him. Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. How the hell do you know where Naruto is and where is he? Anko sheepishly scratched the back of her hair. It's going to sound stupid, but I don't know what I had, but I was speaking to a fake Naruto, but he said that Naruto loves me but won't ever trust me ever again, and the only way it was possible is if I brought you with me, and he's at Kumo right now. Jiraiya smiled. Do you love him Anko? Anko blushed. I think so. I will have to get to know him more, but I owe him everything and something about him just puts me at ease even on the shittiest of days. But he's only 6. Anko snorted. And I'm only 12, only a 6-year difference, and besides we wouldn't do anything until he can trust me again. Jiraiya smiled. Okay Anko, are you ready to go find Naruto? Anko looked at him with determination in her eyes. Of course I'm ready, let's go. With that they dashed off to the gates of Konoha so they can leave and head to Kumo. Meanwhile, Naruto was looking at 3 giant animals fighting over a female armadillo that for some reason was looking straight at Naruto. What the hell am I watching? This made Killer Bee that was standing next to him laugh. They're fighting each other for that armadillo over there. Naruto snorted. Why armadillos are ugly. This made Bee laugh some more. Yeah, I don't know, but hey, whatever floats their boats. So am I able to be here now? Naruto was growing more frustrated. Yeah, they didn't want you here, they would have killed you by now. This made Naruto sweat drop. Okay, then let's get to training then. Bee nodded his head. Couldn't say it better myself. Naruto then followed Bee to where Naruto's training will take place. They walked for a while until they stopped in front of the river. Okay Naruto, before we do this I have to know that your intentions are good. This made Naruto's eyes widened. What do you mean Bee? This waterfall is called the Falls of Truth. It shows your hatred, and in order to be trained you must fight your evil self. Naruto smiled. Okay cool, that sounds like fun. Bee sighed. Actually it's not, it's kinda hard to fight yourself. Naruto nodded his head. I'll deal with it. Bee nodded his head. Okay, then you have to sit on that pond right there and just wait. Naruto sat on the pond and waited for a minute until he heard a noise coming from the waterfall. He looked at the waterfall until a Naruto that looked exactly like him with normal eyes looked at him. Bee's eyes widened. What the hell, he's supposed to fight the darkness inside of him. Bee heard a sigh from the copy of Naruto. How can Naruto fight his darkness when the real Naruto itself is nothing but evil? Mostly I'm his good side that he must fight. This made the real Naruto growl. Shut up, I'm not evil, I just want revenge. I did nothing wrong, the village did everything wrong, I'm just returning the favor. When I'm done with Konoha it will be nothing but ashes. Bee was shocked at witnessing Naruto's true colors. Naruto, stop, I want train you. Th's made Naruto look at him. But Bee, trust me, I'm not evil, it's just that I want to destroy the village because they're the ones that are evil. I must stop them and have my revenge on the Hokage. Bee was going to stop Naruto but was interrupted by the copy Naruto. Don't worry Bee, I will help the real Naruto to become good again. I know he's in there, he's just hiding behind all the damage the village did to him. The real Naruto growled but had tears coming out of his eyes. Shut up, just shut up, they deserve to die, it's just that simple. Anko tried. The Hokage and half of the village tried to kill me, they must pay. You're right Naruto, but that means you're that much better than them if you just let it go. The copy Naruto started to walk to the real Naruto. The real Naruto started to back up. No, get away from me, I will never forgive them. The copy started to glow till it blinded both Naruto and Bee. They had to block their eyes, but when Naruto unshielded his eyes he saw someone he thought he never would see again. There in front of him was Anko Mitarashi, Naruto. The fake Anko continued to walk to Naruto. Anko-chan. Naruto couldn't believe his eyes. There stood in front of him was the girl who he was starting to fall in love with and staved by. Naruto, I never wanted to kill you, and you know that Veer, since I did that you were the only thing that was going through my mind. I know that it will take time, but can you forgive me? Naruto started to laugh. Are you kidding me Anko-chan, you tried to kill me, how can I ever forgive you? I thought you, the Hokage and Iruka, were the only people that cared for me, and you crushed my heart the moment you stabbed me in the stomach. Screw you and the village, you will all die. Anko sighed. Naruto, you have to let go of your hatred, if you don't you will just be like the villagers. This made Naruto stiffened. I am nothing like that pathetic village, I wouldn't ever chase a kid down to kill him or stab them in the stomach. The fake Anko started to cry. Please Naruto, I never meant to do it. Naruto scoffed. Bullshit, you wouldn't do it if there was a reason. Anko nodded her head. Yes, there is a reason why I did it, but I can't tell you. Naruto growled. Why not? I mean, you did stab me, so I think I have every right to know why. You're right, you have every right to know, but from the real Anko. This made Naruto's eyes widened. What do you mean? The fake Anko smiled. The real Anko knows you went to Kumo, she's on her way there now with Jiraiya. This made Bee and Naruto snort at the same time. I'm sorry lady, but if you get to Kumo and somehow are able to speak to my bro, he knows what happened, that he'll definitely kill you with his own hands. This made Anko smirk. Well, that's good to know. Naruto is now somewhere that people will respect him and treat him well, and about the Hokage, well, the real Anko better come you with something or she'll never get to tell Naruto that she loves him. This made Naruto growl. She never loved me, if she did she wouldn't have stabbed me. The fake Anko smiled. You have no idea. Hell, I don't think she even has a clue on how much she loves you. The way she is around you is very rare. She trusts you completely. Naruto scoffed. Yeah, I trusted her to, and I get a knife to the stomach. How much good did that help me? Anko finally reached her destination and hugged Naruto. Like what the fake Naruto said, just let go of your hatred and you will never have to deal with Konoha anymore. You will have a nice life in Kumo and finally find something worth protecting. Naruto was lost at words. He didn't know what to say. Should he just give up on his hatred quest? Kid, don't listen to her. She just wants you to be controlled. Having heard from Kurama, his resolve was back. He grabbed her face and kissed her, but before anything could continue he let go and looked straight to her eyes. Screw you, I will have my vengeance. Anko started to cry again. So be it, Naruto, but you won't like where this path will lead you in the long run. Naruto just stared at her with tears trying to leave his face, but he wouldn't let them fall, not one. Naruto, if you don't let go of your hatred, I will not train you. B was going to finish when the fake Anko cut him off. No, B, you must train him or he will be killed. Do you want that blood on your hands? And beside, he never deceived you. He will protect Kumo with his life and will be happy one day. His hatred will leave sooner or later. I just hoped it would have been now. B was torn up inside on training Naruto. B knew if he didn't he will probably die, and B would never forgive himself for that. B sighed. Fine Naruto, I will train you, just promise me you won't do something bad just to have your revenge. You are much better than there, so don't give up. Naruto looked at B. Anything for you, B, you've been only nice to me since I met you. I will try to not give in. I will try not to blow up the village then, but I will kill the Hokage. I believe that the village might be better if they had a better Hokage. B nodded his head. Naruto then looked at Anko. Maybe in another lifetime, Anko-chan. Anko smiled. Nah, not in another lifetime. I believe that the real Anko could get your love back. With that, the fake Anko disappeared and Naruto let his tears fall out. Anko-chan. B walked over to Naruto and grabbed his shoulder. I'm sorry, Naruto, that all of this has happened to you, but you have to get through this. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, I know when I kill the Hokage my vengeance will be complete, but I still want to know why Anko tried to kill me. B nodded his head. Hey man, you got lucky, she is flipping hot. This made Naruto growl. Don't touch her. Naruto's eyes turned red. B's sweat dropped. Hey Naruto, just kidding, but you should try to fix things with her. You two seem perfect for each other. I can't describe, but when you two kissed it looked like you were made for each other. Naruto smiled. Yeah, well, she still has to get my trust back if she wants to truly be with me. B nodded his head. Then they walked through the waterfall to reveal a temple with statues lined up on each side. Damn, this place is epic. B smiled. Hell yeah it is, but Naruto, before we do this you must know you won't ever be the same. When we're done you will be more intelligent than all the Kages put together and your strength amazing, but you must be careful. People with powers like us can become too dangerous. Naruto, with determination burning in his eyes, nodded his head. I'm ready for anything you throw at me. Now let's get this straighted. B and Naruto then went into a room where it was pure white, then disappeared. Time skip about a week. Anko and Jiraiya had finally made it to Kumo. When the guards saw their headbands they prepared for a fight but were surprised when they gave up willingly. We mean no harm, we just want to speak to the Hokage. Jiraiya smiled a toothy grin making Anko sweat drop. You're not making this any easier. Jiraiya smiled more. They need to know we mean no harm, besides how hard can it be? When Jiraiya turned to look at the guards he saw a hilt of a sword hit him straight in the head making him pass out. Anko saw what happened, started to freak out but was knocked unconscious when someone hit her in the back of her head. One of the guards looked at the other, informed the Hokage of what happened. The guard nodded his head and dashed to the Hokage. The Hokage was talking to his assistant Mabui when a guard bursted in. Hokage, I have urgent news. The Hokage raised an eyebrow. What is it? The guard organized himself. 2 Konoha shinobi appeared at the main gate and asked to speak to you, sir. The Hokage growled, remembering what happened to Naruto. What the hell do they want? The guard shook his head. I have no idea, sir. We knocked them unconscious at the gates. What should we do? The Hokage sat up. Put them in an interrogation room. I will deal with them personally. The guard shook his head. Yes, sir. The guard then left to put the 2 shinobi into an interrogation room. Excuse me, Mabui, I need to deal with this. I'll be back. Mabui nodded her head. Yes, Hokage-sama. When the Hokage reached the interrogation rooms, the first one had 2 shinobi in them. One of them the Hokage noticed automatically. Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin, what the hell is he doing here? He entered the room being accompanied by 2 guards. He waited till they awoke, which wasn't long. Jiraiya was the first to speak. What the hell, that hurt. I hope it did. You Konoha ninja are pathetic. This made Jiraiya and Anko look at a big muscular man known as the Hokage. If it isn't the famous Hokage, how are you doing? The Hokage grunted. Not well when I have people like you in my village. Jiraiya pretended to grab his heart. Ouch, you hurt me with your cruel words, Hokage. All we want to see someone. This made the Hokage raise an eyebrow. Who? Already knowing who they want. Jiraiya lost his joke side and was replaced by seriousness. I need to see Naruto Uzumaki. The Hokage growled. Why, so you can try to kill him again? The Hokage noticed the girl shinobi grabbed her arm and started to cry. Jiraiya frowned. I had nothing to do with that. He is my godson and I told his father that I would protect him with my life. This made the Hokage grunt. God job at doing that, I see. Jiraiya looked down in shame but then looked at the Hokage. Why would you even tell us that he is here? The Hokage smiled. The reason I told you is because I know you're never leaving this village alive. This made Jiraiya frown. Nothing can scare me, right? No, not even a drunk and angry Tsunade. I need to see my godson so I can know that he will be safe. Please, I'm asking you at the bottom of my heart. You can do whatever you want to do with me, just please let me see him, please. Jiraiya started to cry, making the Hokage eyes widen, knowing not much can make the 3 legendary Sannin cry. We will see if you telling the truth. Guards, bring in the Yamanaka. This made Jiraiya and Anko raise their eyebrows. You have a Yamanaka in Kumo. The Hokage nodded his head. Yeah, found him stranded in a forest not too far from here. After knowing he was legit, we took him in and he helped us more than most shinobi here. The door opened to reveal a tall man with short blonde hair. As he walked in, he turned to the Hokage. Yes, Hokage-sama. The Hokage grunted. I need you to tell me everything about these 2, why they're here, what they really want and what they plan to do. The Yamanaka nodded his head and then proceeded to interrogate them. It took him about 30 minutes but he was done. The girl named Anko Mitarashi is a Jonin of Konoha and is the reason the boy left the village. She was the one that tried to kill him. The Hokage growled. You're the reason he is like the way he is. Anko couldn't take much more and started to break down. The Yamanaka continued. And then there is Jiraiya, one of the legendary Sannin. He and Anko are here to see Naruto. Anko wants to set everything right again while Jiraiya wants to keep his godson safe. The Hokage grunted. They were speaking the truth, but Anko, is it? Do you even think you have a chance to bring back Naruto to the way he used to be? Anko wiped her eyes. I don't know if I can, but if you give me this chance I will try my hardest to make it so. I love him and I know deep down inside he loves me too. The Hokage stared with wide eyes. Since Yamanaka said what you said is true, I will tell you where he is, only because I don't want to see Naruto go down the path he is going. Jiraiya smiled. Thank you, Hokage, I will never forget this. The Hokage nodded his head. Unfortunately, Naruto is not here. He is on a secret island named the Island Turtle with my brother B. Jiraiya nodded his head. I know that place, I hear it is beautiful. The Hokage smiled. Of course it is. Here is the location of it. When you get there you need to head to the Waterfall of Truth. That's where they are training, but in order to get there you first must ask the Animal Kings for permission to be there, then they will show you where it is. Anko and Jiraiya nodded their heads. Thank you, Hokage, you won't regret this. This made the Hokage grunt. I better not, and once you've seen him I want you both back here so Yamanaka can erase any secret information that you will learn. No offense, but you're still ninja from Konoha that cannot be trusted. I just want Naruto happy again. The guards released Anko and Jiraiya and they left to go to the Island Turtle. The Yamanaka popped behind them. Can you trust them, Hokage? The Hokage grunted. No, that's why I have 3 Jonin following them this instant. If they do anything wrong I will know about. The Hokage turned around to walk back to his office. Naruto was breathing heavily while his hair is soaked. Damn B, this shit is hard. B that was a few feet away from him was laughing at him. I told you, but you wouldn't listen. You just kept saying stuff like this won't hurt me. Naruto grunted. Yeah, well, I can still do it. B stopped laughing and nodded his head. Okay, then, like I said, to control your Chikara you need to concentrate on that specific part of your body in order to gain full control of your Chikara. Naruto nodded his head and concentrated on his feet again. He then walked on the water without falling in it. Holy shit, I did it, B. Naruto, being all too excited, lost focus and fell in the water again, making laugh even harder. I'm so glad I agreed to training you. This is just too funny. Naruto growled, "Shut up B, I will get this done and learn the lariat." Naruto decided to take his shirt off thinking it was affecting him, showing off his new six-pack when he got all of Kurama powers. Then Naruto focused on his feet again and proceeded to walk on the water. Meanwhile, Anko and Jiraiya were watching three huge animals fight over an armadillo. Anko's sweat dropped. "What the hell am I watching?" Jiraiya nodded his head while laughing. "I have no idea, but this is funny." Anko growled, "Can we go to Naruto already?" The king animals stopped their fight to look at the two. They then nodded their heads and continued fighting. Anko smirked. "I guess that was a yes. Can one of you show us where the waterfall is?" A small chimp came out of a bush and grabbed Anko's hand and started to lead them to the Falls of Truth. When they made it, Anko let go of the monkey's hand and started to walk to the waterfall but was stopped by Jiraiya. Anko, in order to gain access to the Falls of Truth you must first take a test. This made Anko growl, "What the hell do you mean?" Jiraiya pointed to the lily pad. "Sit on it and wait." Anko decided to listen and sat down. She was starting to get impatient but then heard a noise coming from the waterfall. Naruto. Anko's hope was rising but was dashed away when an exact copy of her walked out of the waterfall but had red eyes. Well, if isn't the person that made Naruto's life a living hell. Anko's eyes widened. "Who are you?" This made the fake Anko laugh evilly. "Oh, nothing, I'm just the reason you stabbed your precious Naruto-kun in the stomach. I'm made up of all your evil greed, revenge, or what made you do it." Anko started to get angry. "Jiraiya, what the hell do I do?" Jiraiya with an open mouth. "I don't know, but it seems you have to fight your bad side to gain access. You must defeat your hatred." Anko growled. "Fine, if you want to fight you got one." With that, Anko jumped in the air to shoot a snake at the fake Anko's neck but was surprised when she saw the fake doing the same thing. "Are you that stupid? I'm you. We have the same exact abilities, so what you do I do. You can't win by fighting me." Anko landed on the ground. "Fine, if I can't beat you by fighting you, then there must be another way." The fake Anko laughed again. "Isn't it obvious? You must get rid of your hatred. In order to do that you must forget about the thing that has ruined your life for such a long time." Anko's eyes widened. "Orochimaru." The fake Anko nodded her head but still had an evil smile on her face. "Can you do it? Can you forget about Orochimaru for Naruto-kun, or will you stab him in the stomach again to get to Orochimaru?" Anko started to cry, tears running down her face. "I don't know." The fake Anko snickered. "Of course you can't. You're so pathetic. Naruto deserves so much more than you." This made Anko smile. "You're right, he does deserve better, but I love him and not you, or Orochimaru will get in my way to see Naruto again." The fake Anko widened her eyes. "I see you have finally surpassed your hatred for something that will give you the best thing in the world." Anko smiled. "I couldn't have done it without him. He has changed me forever." The fake Anko laughed normally. "That he has. Guess it's my time to leave. Good luck, you're going to need it." Anko nodded her head and the fake Anko disappeared. She turned to see Jiraiya with tears in his eyes. "Why are you crying?" Jiraiya smiled. "I don't get to see a catfight. That would have made a perfect Ichiya story." This made Anko growl. "You're lucky we have to see Naruto or you would have died just now." Jiraiya smiled some more. "Okay, let's go. We don't want to keep Naruto waiting now, do we?" Anko nodded her head. Then they went into the waterfall. "Wait, why don't you have to fight your evil side?" This made Jiraiya smile. "I have no evil inside of me. I surpassed my hatred when I realized I had to kill Orochimaru." Anko smiled. "You would have made a good Hokage." Jiraiya smiled. "No, I'm not that kind of person that could stamp paper all day." Once they made it inside, they looked around amazed by the sight of the temple, but they heard yelling in a room at the far end on the room. "That must be where Naruto went. Let's go." They ran to the room that was pure white. When they entered, they were both shocked. What Anko saw was a taller Naruto with no shirt on, with a perfect six-pack, while water was running down his body. Anko was so stunned by how much hotter he became she got wet instantly. While Jiraiya, on the other hand, was surprised that the person not too far away looked like an exact copy of Minato. It made Jiraiya proud. Meanwhile, after Naruto completed the Chakra control exercise, they moved on to the lariat. They would charge at each other with an open arm, but when they would clash they would stand there for a second, lightning all around them until Naruto would go crashing down into water. Naruto would get up and do it again and again until finally he got it down. When he clashed with B, he felt Kurama's power seeping inside of him, making him look more animalistic. Naruto let out a monstrous roar, making B go flying back. Naruto smiled. Yes, I got you, B. I told you I can deal with anything you throw at me. B got up and smiled as well. Very good, Naruto, now it's time to help you learn lightning jutsus, and then we'll go find Jiraiya and he'll teach you wind jutsus. You don't have to look for me. This made Naruto and B turn around to see two people they thought they wouldn't see for a while. Naruto laid eyes on Anko's, shock apparent on his face. Anko-chan. He saw Anko's smile and started to walk towards him. Naruto stepped back for a second. What the hell are you doing here? Jiraiya decided to butt in. We came here looking for you. Of silly, my god, you look just like Minato. This made Naruto growl. Don't say that name around me, that man is nothing like me, he is a disgrace to the me. This made Jiraiya's eyes widened. What are you talking, Naruto? How do you know him? Naruto smirked evilly. I can ask the same thing, old man, how do you know me? Jiraiya smirked as well. Well, I should know what my godson looks like. Naruto's eyes widened. Godson? Jiraiya nodded his head. Yeah, Naruto, I'm your godfather. Naruto then growled. Where the hell were you? Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Naruto's eyes started to grow red. He was getting too angry. At any moment he could lose it and kill both of them. I said, where the hell were you when the half of the village was chasing me and when Anko-chan stabbed me and left me to die? Where were you when I had to live by myself for almost my entire life? Where were you? Jiraiya looked down in shame and Anko grabbed where her heart would be. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, kid. I thought the village would never do what they did. I thought you would overcome them and become a strong ninja. Naruto laughed. Oh, but I have overcome my hatred for the village, but not for the Hokage. I will one day get my revenge. Me and Kurama will rip him apart piece by piece. Anko widened her eyes. Is this what the Hokage mentioned to me by saying I hope you could BRNG him back? Anko, not able to take any more than this, ran up to him, grabbed onto him. Please, Naruto, I didn't mean to do it. I never wanted to do it, but the Hokage used my weakness against me and I panicked. Naruto was wide-eyed. Please, Anko-chan, what is so more important than a little kid needing you to protect him in his weakest moment to just betray him? Huh, Anko, what is it? Nakaruto then grabbed her as well to feel the warmth that he has been missing since that day, making him forget all the trouble that happened to him. Anko was crying on his shoulder, not that he cared. The Hokage told me that if I didn't kill you I would never get to kill the man I've been wanting to kill forever. Naruto's eyes widened. She's just like me, doing anything to get her revenge. Anko grabbed harder, thinking that he might let go. His name is Orochimaru. When I first met him he was the first person to ever care for me. I thought I finally had a family. You know how that feels, Naruto, to be alone. Naruto started to cry as well while nodding his head. Then one day he tells me he has something special for me and then bites me on the neck. Anko then moved her mesh shirt to the side a bit to reveal the curse mark. He said I was the only one that survived and he was leaving, and since I didn't want him to leave me I went with him. We went to several places until he told me that if I wanted to continue following him I would have to give him my body, so once his body was finished he would use mine to continue to live. Naruto was shocked. She was exactly like him, no family to love him. He had realized what had happened to her was so much worse to actually have the feeling to be loved, but then betrayed. He realized that Anko was in so much pain and he hugged her more. Then I was left alone for a while until some Konoha ninjas found me and took me back. Ever since then the only thing that kept me alive was my revenge for Orochimaru. That was until I met you, Naruto-kun. This made Naruto blush, but only Jiraiya saw it and smirked. There's something about you that made me forget about Orochimaru. When we met I couldn't stop thinking about you. That's when the mob chased you. I went to the Hokage to tell what was happening, but instead of helping you he told me to kill you, and you know what happened after that. I couldn't stop thinking about what I did. I never forgave myself. I had to do something to believe that you were okay and that you would be safe, and I know you deserve someone better than me, but can you ever forgive me, Naruto-kun? Naruto smiled. Thank you, Anko-chan, you have no idea how much that meant to me, and I'm sorry about what happened to you and I forgive you, but before I could do anything with you I have to know you will wait for me, cause I need to trust you again. Okay, Anko-chan, please just give me time. Anko smiled. Thank you, Naruto-kun, and yes, I will give you as much time as you need, but hopefully not too long. I want you to completely trust me. She then put her lips on his ears. And I want you and only you. I love you, Naruto-kun. You helped me overcome my hatred over Orochimaru. I will always love you. This made Naruto blush so bad that it made Kurama look white compared to him. This made B and Jiraiya smile. B was the first to speak. Okay, this is all sweet and all, but me and Naruto need to continue training. When I'm done with him, Jiraiya, that's where you come in. I need you to teach him wind jutsus. Jiraiya nodded his head. You got it now, Anko. We promised the Hokage we would return to him so he can erase any secret information we learned today. This made Anko grab Naruto even harder. No, if we do that, I won't know where this island is and I won't be able to see Naruto anymore. B smiled. Don't worry, Anko, I can write a letter to brother asking if you two can stay here. This made Anko smile. Yes, thank you. B then wrote the letter to the Hokage and then handed the letter to Anko. She grabbed, then turned to Naruto. She grabbed his face and kissed him with all the passion in the world. Naruto was shocked at first but then decided to continue it. They lasted for about a minute until Jiraiya coughed. Okay, lovebirds, you can continue this later. Come on, Anko, we got to go. They heard Anko groan. I will see you soon, Naruto-kun. Naruto was blushing but nodded his head. Yeah, see you soon, Anko-heim. This made Anko blush in return. She gave him one cute kiss and then left with Jiraiya. B smiled. Are you ready, Naruto? Naruto turned around to actually see a real smile from Naruto. I'm more than ready, B. B saw a new look cruise his eyes, something adorned to love. Anko just might bring him back. With that, they continued to train in various different types of jutsus of lightning origin. Anko and Jiraiya had just made it back to Kumo so they can report to the Hokage. When they made it to his office, he was sitting down knowing as if they were going to open it. Okay, good, you made it back and it's time to erase your memories of any secret information about Kumo. Anko decided to interrupt him. Sorry, but before you do that, Killer B made this note for you. He says it's urgent. Hokage nodded his head, took the letter to read. When he was done, he grunted. B here says that you two can be trusted to have nothing be erased from your minds. The Hokage looked at the two for a minute and then nodded his head again. Fine, but only because B says he trusts you too. Now since we got that cleared up, where are you two going? Anko smiled. I'm going back to Naruto-kun. What about you, Jiraiya? Jiraiya smiled. I'm going as well. Did you forget he needs me to teach him the Rasengan? Anko scratched her head sheepishly. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's go. Then they left to return to Naruto and B. Time skipped 6 years. This would make Anko 18 and Naruto 12 for anybody who is confused. Naruto and the rest of the Kumo genins that would take the Chunin exams had just arrived at Konoha. Naruto growled. Man, I hate this place. It looks exactly the same when I left it. Naruto has grown in the years. He has grew a few inches in height, had longer hair, and his whisker marks even darker and more thicker. He wore a pure black vest sorta like the Jonin of Konoha and had black pants but had orange-like tails going all over his chest to his legs. If you counted them, it would equal 9 tails. Hey Naruto, what's up? One of the other genin that goes to Kumo. Naruto didn't look at the kid. Leave me alone. He heard the kid grunt. I would, but we are a team for now and in order to win we need to work together. Naruto looked at the kid and growled. You wanna win? The kid, getting scared, nodded his head. Then stay the hell out of my way. Then Naruto picked up his pace so he can put space between them. When they made it to the first stage of the test, there stood this tall, bulky man with bandages all over his face. Naruto sat in a seat and waited for everyone else. Since he was the first one there, Ibiki noticed him instantly. Who are you, kid? Naruto smirked. My name is Naruto Uzumaki and I'm a proud genin of Kumo. Ibiki stiffened. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto smirked even more. Yes, why do you know me? Ibiki shuddered. Yeah, I remember you. The village tried to kill you and escaped by using the Kyuubi's powers and nearly killing the Hokage and brutally injured most of the Jonin. Naruto smiled. Damn, I did all that well. It seems you know your history. You get an A+. Ibiki frowned. Why are you here, Naruto? Naruto growled. Isn't it obvious? 2 reasons. First is to show you Noah pansies that Kumo's the strongest, and 2 is to see the Hokage burn. Ibiki growled. Watch it, boy, you say something like that again you will be detained. Naruto just did laugh. Please, if you lay one single finger on me your arm will be dislocated in so many ways, not even Tsunade will be able to fix it. In this letter. Naruto pulled the letter out of his jacket and gave it to Ibiki, who in return grabbed it, opened it and proceeded to read it. After Ibiki finished reading it, his eyes were wide open. War. Naruto smiled and nodded his head. Yup, so I would think twice about touching me unless you believe you could win this war, which I'm just saying is near impossible. Ibiki gave the letter back to him. Fine, but you better have respect. This made Naruto show respect. Please, the only thing these people deserve is death. Ibiki paled. Not much stuff can make him pale. You know kid, you and only one person can make me shudder like that. Naruto smiled even more evilly. Yeah, who is that other person? Ibiki smiled. Anko Mitarashi. Naruto laughed even more. I know what you mean, I don't want to piss her off on one of her bad days. Ibiki raised an eyebrow. You know Anko-chan. Hearing the suffix added to it made growl. Don't call her that, if you want to live she's mine. Ibiki frowned. Why do you like her? Don't worry kid, I'm just like her big brother. Aren't you a little young for her though? Naruto frowned. If you're old enough to kill, you're old enough to fall in love with anybody you want. Ibiki laughed. True man, if you weren't chased out of here maybe you and me would be good friends. Naruto smiled. Thanks, but I was chased so it ain't happening. Ibiki nodded his head and looked to the door. More people started to enter. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, the exams start soon so I have to go. Naruto waved bye. Have fun. Ibiki left, making Naruto sigh. Man, if I had to deal with that anymore I would have lost it. Naruto heard a laugh in his head. Calm down kid, we don't want to ruin anything for Kumo, so take it easy until the second part of the exam. Naruto smiled. Okay Kurama, since you asked I will calm down, but it's kinda hard you know. I know kid, I know, just have to beat everybody here and then you have to deal with the Hokage without starting a war. Naruto smirked. So what, like an assassination? Man, that's boring. I want to beat the living shit out of him, curb stomp him in the jaw. Kurama laughed even more. Yes, I agree, but if we are to have a war now, the shinobi world will not be prepared for what is to come. Naruto grunted. Yeah, Madara Uchiha, after we're done with the Hokage we'll deal with him next. Kurama nodded his head. Yes, then we will be the strongest alive, no one will be able to stop us. Naruto smiled. Yeah, let's do this. With that said, everybody was in the room, all the genin and the shinobi who will be watching the genin. Skip conversation and test cause that shit was stupid. When Naruto finished the exam he seemed to be the first one done with the test and waited for everyone else. While waiting he looked around the room. He was checking the Konoha genin, seeing if any one of them would be interesting. The only ones taught was Shikamaru and Shino, cause they seemed to have intelligence. Ibiki coughed. It seems everyone is done now. When the proctor for the Seiko. Ibiki was never able to finish because someone came crashing through the window. Naruto was staring at her, eyeballing her up and down since he hasn't been able to see her in a year. Flashback. Naruto-kun. Naruto turned to look at Anko. Yes, Anko-heim. Anko did a sad smile. Sorry, but the Hokage needs me back to prepare for the Chunin exams. This made Naruto sad as well. But Anko-heim, I want you here with me. Anko smiled and hugged Naruto. I know I want to be here too, but don't worry, you will see me at the exams and I will be making a big entrance, so you know it will be me. Naruto nodded his head and kissed her with all the love he had, making the kiss last longer than it was supposed to. When they finally pulled apart, Anko smiled. Hey, I love you, Naruto-kun. Naruto smiled. Yeah, I love you to Anko-heim. Then Anko turned around and left to go back to Konoha. Flashback end. Anko looked at the crowd to see Naruto eyeballing her like she was his next meal, which in return made Anko blush. Okay, if you're ready, follow me. We're going to head to my spatial empire called the Forest of Death. This made almost every Chunin shiver except Naruto and a few others. Naruto went to go get up but was stopped by a hand. Naruto looked up to see this emo faggot looking kid holding him down. Everyone stopped to stare, even Anko and Ibiki. Sorry, I just hate Sasuke. If you like him that's fine, but there's something wrong with you. I don't like you. This made Naruto snort. Yeah, that makes two us, and if you want to keep that arm of yours I suggest you let go before I rip it off. The kid smiled. How can someone like you beat an Uchiha? This made Naruto smirk. Oh, that's easy, you just rip their eyeballs out and make the person eat them. The kid's eyes widened. You don't have the balls to do it. Anko flinched. She knew Sasuke just signed his death warrant. In a flash Sasuke was on the ground face first, with Naruto stepping on his face with an evil smile. Hey, who wants to see the Uchiha eat his own eyes? Most people locked away in disgust. Naruto just laughed at them. They grabbed Sasuke's head and turned him around. Now give me your eyes. Everyone freaked out except Anko. Sasuke tried to scream for help but no one helped him except two girls that were both yelling like banshees. Naruto grabbed his ear where the two girls were facing. Ah, shut the fuck up, Jesus, kinda hard to take someone's eye out when I can't hear straight. This made the two girls cower in fear. Naruto smiled evilly, then returned to torture the Uchiha. Naruto was just centimeters from his eyes when someone stoked him. Naruto, stop it. Naruto, instantly recognizing who said this, looked at Anko and growled. Come on Anko Heim, just one eye please. This made everybody raise an eyebrow. Did he just say Heim? Anko blushed but snapped out of it. Sorry Naruto, but can't have you killing people before my part of the exam. Naruto then looked at Sasuke. Guess you got lucky, bitch. Why don't you crawl to Anko Heim legs and cry thank you? This made Sasuke growl. Fuck you and that whore. Naruto lost it. He raised his fist backwards and slammed it in the back of Sasuke's head, instantly knocking him out. Don't you dare call her a whore, just wait till the second part of the exam, you the first on my list. Naruto got up to brush his legs off of any dirt when a whoosh noise came out of nowhere. Naruto Uzumaki, you have crossed the line. Naruto growled. Ah, isn't it the wonderful Hokage come here to die or what? This made the Hokage frown. That's it Naruto Uzumaki, you are under arrest. But before he could finish, Ibiki spoke up. Hokage sir, I wouldn't touch him if I were you. This made the Hokage raise an eyebrow. What do you mean Ibiki? He turned to look at Naruto, who held a letter in his hand. Here, read this. Naruto slammed it in his chest, making the Hokage lose his breath. Without complaining, the Hokage read the letter. Afterwards the Hokage huffed. You better watch your back, boy, you don't know what will happen to you. Naruto just smiled. Yeah, if anything did happen to me, you'll find Kumo's army right at your doorstep ready to kill everybody. I know your pathetic village can't do anything against them, so I would back off if I were you. The Hokage grunted and shushined out of the building. Anko then walked up to Naruto and grabbed his shoulder. Okay, since that's all cleared up, let us continue, and you bad boy will be escorted by me personally. Naruto nodded his head, and then everybody walked to the Forest of Death. Everyone stayed away from Naruto, which in turn made people stay away from Anko so they could speak in private. Naruto-kun, it's good to see you again, and what you did back there made me so horny. Naruto blushed but smiled as well. I missed you to Anko Heim, it's been too long, and you look stunning by the way. This made Anko blush this time. Why thank you Naruto-kun, it's going to be fun in the Forest of Death. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, I don't know what my team will do, but my first thing is to hunt down the Uchiha and kill him. Anko smirked. I love it when you get all overprotected on me, it makes me feel loved. Naruto smiled even more. You know I love you, but what that bitch said made just lose it. He's lucky Kurama wasn't hungry, I would have gave him a meal today. Anko smiled. Yes, well, you can do that in the Forest of Death, not here. Oh no, it seems we made it. Naruto nodded his head. Yes, it does seem so. He turned to look at her and kiss her. No one noticed though, since they were staring at the gate to the Forest of Death. When they finished, Anko looked at him with lust. When you make it to the tower, we'll finish this later. Naruto nodded his head. Okay Heim, see you then. He then went with the rest of his team while they waited for Anko to tell them the rules. Skip conversation, sorry. Naruto and his team waited for the go to enter the Forest of Death. When the gates opened up, Naruto turned towards his team. Okay, here is the plan. Since we got the Earth Scroll, we need the Heaven Scroll. A group not too far from our right has one ATTCK in the shadows. His team raised an eyebrow at him. What the hell will you be doing? Naruto smirked. I'm going to kill the Uchiha. Naruto was jumping from tree to tree searching for Sasuke, so he can kill him for two reasons, first being him as an Uchiha, and second, he called Anko a whore. Where the hell is he? Naruto growled. Hey Kurama, do you have his scent? He heard Kurama grunt in response. Yeah, but there's someone with him and it smells like snakes. This made Naruto's anger flare. Anko, what the hell is she doing with that Uchiha? Naruto was starting to form up the most worst scenarios. What if she's cheating on me with that Uchiha? I will destroy them both. Kurama chuckled. No kid, it's someone else older, more dangerous, and possibly stronger than the Hokage. This made Naruto smirk. Great, then I will just kill him too. Kurama smiled. That's the spirit kid. Naruto speed up to catch them, but what he saw was not what he expected. There was Sasuke being hunted down by a big-ass snake. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Maybe I should watch first, see what happens, man. When I finally want popcorn, there's none to be found. Sasuke, being scared shitless, screamed. Get away from me. Sasuke then threw some shurikens at the large snake's head, killing it instantly. Naruto got up thinking the fight was over, but to his surprise he heard crunching inside the snake until a woman came out with long black hair. Ku Sasuke, you seem to be skilled in fighting, that's good. Sasuke flinched. Who the hell are you? The woman smirked. Hold on, let me get out of this suit, it's quite uncomfortable. With that said, the woman grabbed her mouth, expanding it until a man came out of her. That's better, now let me introduce myself, my name is Orochimaru. This made Naruto flinch in anger. Did he just say Orochimaru, the one that ruined Enkoheim's life, the one to make her so shut out of the world? I'm going to kill him. Having not listened to the rest of the conversation, he saw Orochimaru break his own jaw to make his face grow long. Naruto knew what was happening. Orochimaru was going to give Sasuke the cursed seal. This made Naruto jump into gear. When Orochimaru went to strike, his face moving at fast speeds, too excited to finally have a Uchiha in his hands, did not notice the fist that came crashing down on him in the face, masking him sail backwards into some other trees. Sasuke's eyes widened. Thn looked at Naruto, his savior. Thank you Naruto, thank you so much, I thought he was going to kill me. He heard Naruto snort. Nah, he wasn't going to kill you, he was going to control you, but me on the other hand is going to kill you right here and now. Sasuke's eyes widened even more. What are you talking about, you can't kill me? Naruto smiled evilly. Oh yes I can, this is the second part of the exams, if you were paying attention. Death is allowed in here, so that means you're dead, and when they ask me why I had to kill you, I'll just say he walked a certain way, tailed a certain way, disgrading people a certain way, and I don't like that, and you called Enkoheim a whore. Naruto decided to stop talking and walked slowly to Sasuke, who in return started to scream again. No, please don't kill me, I still have to kill someone. Naruto smirked. Who, Itachi? This made Sasuke even more scared. How do you know? Naruto laughed. Oh nothing much, just that your pathetic Madara Uchiha did something to Kurama, so I looked history about your clan so I can kill you all the most sadistic way, but to only find out your brother Itachi killed all of them except you. Too bad, would have saved me a lot of trouble. Sasuke was tired and had Chikara exhaustion, so he couldn't move any longer. Naruto finally made it to Sasuke and grabbed his face. Now would you be so kind as to give me your eyes? I decided to serve you the Uchiha eyeball special for lunch today. Sasuke tried to pull away with no avail. He saw Naruto raise 2 fingers towards his right eye. Please no, have some humanity. Naruto just laughed and continued. Gruesome part up ahead. When Naruto's fingers made it to Sasuke's right eye, he griped the eyeball slowly, then proceeded to pull the eyeball out until he was able to reach behind the socket and then yanked his right eyeball out. This made Sasuke make the most chilling scream ever. Everyone in the Forest of Death heard it and made them have chills up their spine. Oh, that looked like it hurt. Are you ready for the first serving? Oh, I know you are now, open wide. Sasuke tried to keep his mouth shut, so Naruto griped and closed his nostrils, his throat, until Sasuke had to open his mouth to breath. That's when Naruto slammed the eyeball in Sasuke's mouth. Now bite down. Naruto's voice getting more darker. Sasuke shook his head, making Naruto sigh. Okay, we could have just done this the easy way, but guess not. Naruto then got up and proceeded to slam on the top of Sasuke's head, making his jaw keep mashing against each other, making the eyeball getting chomped by Sasuke's teeth. Good, now swallow. Sasuke was crying now and wanted to this be over with, so he slowly swallowed the mashed eyeball, but Sasuke couldn't handle it, so he puked it out. Ah, that's not nice. Guess that means you're ready for the next eyeball. Then Naruto proceeded to pull the next eyeball out when he was griped by a black snake, choking him in the process. Orochimaru popped behind him. Phew, that was close, almost lost the second eye. Damn, that kid is brutal, would have taken him with me if he wasn't trying to ruin my plans. But before Orochimaru could do anything, he felt pure hated Chikara seeping out of Naruto, automatically burning the snake in the process. Now that's not nice now, is it? Orochimaru's eyes widened when he heard a voice behind him, but it was another Naruto. Orochimaru tried to move but was staved by a tail made up of pure Chikara behind him, making him split out blood. The tail then grew larger until it fully wrapped around him, making him move useless. Now where was I? Oh right, the second eye, if this is what you're after. The Uchiha's eye, well too bad, I claimed them to be eaten, so that's what's gonna happen, so sit back and enjoy the show. Sasuke, now being unconscious, was not aware of what was going to happen. This made Naruto smirk. Oh, this is going to be fun. Gore ended. Naruto turned to look at Orochimaru with blood on his face. Oops, guess his left eye is a bit juicy. This made Orochimaru pissed. What are you, kid? Naruto just smirked. Omi, I'm just the Jinchuriku of the Kyuubi and the soon-to-be the world's strongest ninja in the face of history. Orochimaru's eyes widened. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto smiled and nodded his head. Yup, that's me now. What should I do with you? Should I kill you her or take you to Ankoheim? This made Orochimaru raise an eyebrow. Ankoheim. Naruto nodded his head again. Yup, she's probably the only one I love more than anything else besides Kurama. He's like a father to me, the best at it too. Orochimaru smirked. Well, now maybe I should've killed her back then, you would have never known her. This made Naruto growl. Yeah, well, you didn't because you're weak and pathetic just like the Hokage. I think I should take you to Anko. I believe she needs this. Orochimaru just smirked some more. Okay, I made Orochimaru fight the Hokage first instead to make it more appealing to the story. The Hokage. Naruto nodded his head. Yes, when I'm done with you I will kill him. This made Orochimaru laugh evilly. Too bad, kid, I already killed him just a while ago so I guess you can't have your revenge. Naruto just smiled. Nope, wrong, it just means I will kill you instead for taking my kill. Sorry Anko, but cold and wait. Orochimaru's eyes widened. You can't kill me, kid, I'm immortal. Naruto just smirked evilly. Immortal, huh? Let's put that name to the test. 300, yeah. Naruto then griped Orochimaru's head and proceeded to twist it until he heard a crunching noise, making him pull star right up until his head popped off. Ah well, guess immortals are not that immortal. Naruto laughed at his own pun. Man, that was shitty, but hey, I guess my vengeance is done. I don't need to worry about this village anymore. When Naruto got up, Anko shushined out of nowhere. Hey Naruto. She stopped when she saw Orochimaru's head in his hands. What is going on? Is that Orochimaru? Naruto smiled and nodded his head. Yes, Ankoheim, I was going to give him to you so you can kill him, but then he told me that he killed the Hokage. I guess I lost it and ripped his head off. Anko walked up to him and took Orochimaru's head out of his hands. He's dead, he's finally dead. Anko started to cry. She let go of his head and hugged Naruto to death. I love you Naruto-kun. Naruto was trying to get some air. Anko, I love you too, but I can't breath. Anko let go of him so he could breath. I don't know what to say. I feel this burden that has been on me for years have finally fallen. Thank you so much Naruto-kun. Naruto nodded his head. You're welcome Ankoheim. Now I must get to my team so we can end this part of the exam. Anko frowned. That's why I'm here. Orochimaru and his ninjas attacked us while we were doing the second part of the exam. The exam is cancelled for now, so that means you have to stay here in Konoha a little bit longer. Naruto smiled. As long as I'm with you it doesn't matter where I am. This made Anko blush. Oh Naruto-kun, you always know what to say to make me blush. That's one of the reason I fell in love with you. Naruto smiled and hugged her more. Yeah, then let's go to the mansion. I suppose everyone is there by now. Anko nodded her head. Yeah, it took me a while to find you, but what do we do with Sasuke over there? Naruto smirked. Leave him there for all I care, but if you insist I will take him with us. Anko shook her head. Ah, who cares? He called me a whore. Let's leave him here with one of my snakes. Anko then summoned a big python. Here's your lunch, have fun. The snake slicked his tongue out then slithered towards Sasuke to enjoy his meal. Naruto smiled. You know Anko, you are so hot. Anko blushed but kept her smile. Yeah, I know, now let's go. With that they left to go to the tower, not noticing that they were being watched by none other than Kakashi Hatake. He looked down to see his student getting swallowed by a snake, so he sighed and killed the snake and pulling him out. Ah Sasuke, you should have listened. Kakashi then put Sasuke on his shoulder then proceeded to the tower. When he finally made it to the tower he decided to get some payback for Sasuke. So after he put Sasuke into the reformery he went to where he knew Anko would be, then made a letter to Naruto saying it was from Anko and it telling him to meet him in her room. He let a messenger bird go to Naruto then entered her room. Meanwhile, Anko sighed. Man, I feel great but I still have the seal on me. Oh well, as long as Naruto is with me I could care less. Just then Kakashi entered her room making her raise an eyebrow. Kakashi, what are you doing here? Kakashi just shrugged. Oh, nothing much Anko, I just wanted to tell you something. Anko didn't want him to be in her room and wanted this to get over with, so decided to listen. What is it Kakashi? Kakashi wailed up to her, pulled his face mask down and kissed her, shocking her to no end. What the hell is he doing? Anko tried to get free but Kakashi's superior strength prevailed and held her down. That's when she heard the door open to reveal Naruto, all smiling with his eyes closed, but when he opened them he was devastated. Back in time a minute ago. Naruto just got a letter from Anko asking him to go to her room. Gosh, Anko Heim, she could have just told me, man, she must be getting lazy. Naruto smiled from ear to ear, then proceeded to her room with the biggest smile on his face. It was so big he had to keep his eyes closed. I am so sorry my readers, I don't want to do this, but in order for my story to get where I wanted, Anko and Naruto have to break up. I am so sorry you can't see me, but I have tears in my eyes right now, so please forgive me. When he made it to her door he was so happy he couldn't contain himself. He opened the door and entered with his eyes closed, but when he opened them his world came crashing down in front of him. What he saw made his heart explode from his heart. When Anko saw him she had tears in her eyes. She was finally able to get free. Naruto, it isn't what it seemed. Anko couldn't finish her sentence because Naruto flashed out of there in so much rage it threw her and Kakashi back, hitting the wall. When Anko got up she was crying her heart out. Naruto, come back to me. Naruto flashed into a part of the forest of death with tears running down his face. Anko Heim, you betrayed me, why? Naruto's body slumped to the ground and his left arm grabbed his right and started to shake uncontrollably in pure anger, all of his despair gone in a flash. Naruto looked up at the trees with red slitted eyes. She betrayed me. Naruto started to get UO when he heard a whoosh behind him. He turned around to see this man with a mask covering his face. At first Naruto didn't recognize him because of the mask, but then remembered Anko kissing the man in front of him. You. Naruto was on the verge of exploding in rage. He couldn't hold back any longer. Kakashi just smiled. Oh, something wrong? Did I steal your girl? Last night I fucked her so hard it felt amazing. Naruto lost it. He charged at Kakashi at speeds not even Kakashi's Sharingan could follow. Naruto hit Kakashi in the face, making him fly backwards. But Naruto would not let his enemy get any advantages. Naruto appeared right next to Kakashi making hand signs. Black lightning. Pure black lightning enveloped Naruto and made him twice as fast. Naruto then raised a fist and slammed it in Kakashi's stomach, making Kakashi plummet to the ground. Kakashi's eyes widened. He tried to get up but was stopped by a foot to the chest, making him spit out blood. Naruto then smiled. Lightning release, Black Panther. Black lightning enveloped Naruto again, but the lightning started to turn into a panther that was growling. Naruto sighed. Time to die. The panther then dived to Kakashi, making an explosion of black lightning everywhere. Naruto stopped to recover his breath. Oh, that was pathetic. This is what I get with Konoha ninjas, absolutely pathetic. I'm not done yet. This made Naruto jump in the sky to dodge a kunai that would have ended his life. Seems you still got some fight in you, or what's left of you. There Kakashi stood there with his right arm missing. Kakashi frowned. Man, that was my reading hand. Oh well, when I done with you I will just have to get used to my left. This made Naruto laugh. When you get done with me, please, that wasn't even my strongest move, hell, not even by far, but I want you to go to hell, so this is what I'm going to do. Naruto then raised his right hand up, making it look like he's trying to stop someone. Then all of a sudden pure red Chikara enveloped him, but instead of his tailed beast forms that he would use, this was more him. Prepare to die. Then out of nowhere a huge puff of smoke popped behind Naruto. Kakashi raised an eyebrow until he was able to see a body behind the smoke. Out of the smoke it revealed to be Kurama himself standing behind Naruto. Kurama let out a monstrous roar that made Kakashi grab his left ear since he couldn't do it with both. Naruto smiled evilly, then Naruto jumped into Kurama's mouth, then raised both hands. Tailed beast bomb. Kurama opened his mouth some more, then a ball of pure hatred formed out of his mouth. Naruto screamed with tears in his eyes. You took her from me and now you will die. When the ball finished forming up, he and Kurama shot it at Kakashi. Kakashi was panicking on the inside. He knew there was no way to escape. Memories of his past life flashed in his head, making him stop. A picture of him and Tobi, then a picture of Minato and the third Hokage, then a picture of his younger self. Please forgive me, Minato. Then Kakashi started up a lightning blade, prepared to meet Naruto's ultimate with his. Naruto saw this and smirked, but before he could say anything Kakashi clashed with the tailed beast bomb, burning his skin in the process. You can't fight a tailed beast bomb, no one can. Kakashi met Naruto's eyes with a glare that could scare anybody except Naruto. Naruto just huffed in annoyance waiting for Kakashi's end. Kakashi was trying to hold back the beast bomb but to no avail. Then he was pushed back by the beast bomb to be enveloped by it, making him burn within seconds until it exploded, making half of the forest of death become nothing than just piles of ashes. Naruto then screamed in the air with hatred and sadness. What am I going to do? Kumo flashed in his head. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to Kumo to see B and Jiraiya. I need to talk to someone about this, see if they could help me. Naruto then turned to leave Konoha but was stopped by the reason his heart is no longer active, just nothing but hatred and sadness. Anko looked around till she laid eyes on Naruto. Naruto-kun, what did you do? Naruto just snorted. What does it look like you're a Jirimono? Anko started to cry. Naruto-kun, that wasn't me. I don't know why he kissed me. I tried to stop him but he was too strong. This made Naruto laugh evil. Don't give me that bullshit. I'm through with you. I gave you another chance but you ruined it by putting your mouth on somebody else. You're supposed to be mine. Anko was bawling now. Naruto-kun, of course I'm yours. Don't say that you don't trust me. He forced himself on me. There was nothing I could do. Naruto shook his head. No, you're lying. He said you two made love last night. Is it true? This shocked Anko. What? Naruto's eyes turned pure blood red. I said, is it true? This made Anko flinch. Of course not, Naruto-kun, I only love you. Naruto wasn't listening. He just kept thinking Anko being naked and being fucked by another man. Not able to take anymore, he lunged at Anko, grabbing her throat and started to crush her windpipe. Naruto-kun, stop it, you're hurting me. Naruto's eyes flashed back to his piercing blue. He let go of Anko and looked at her. You were the only thing I loved in this world and you destroyed that love. I hate you. Anko couldn't take anymore and passed out. Naruto looked at her and cried even more, then turned around and shunshin towards Konoha's front gates. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki were having a meeting. Pain looked at everyone in the room. Orochimaru is dead and so is Kakashi Hataka. Everyone widened their eyes. Who killed them? The one in the mask said. Pain sighed. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. Everyone tensed up. Naruto, the one who killed Itachi and Kisame. Deidara spoke this time. Pain nodded his head. Yes, now we only have 7 members left. We need to be more careful. The others present nodded their heads. Tobi was the first to speak. Man, these Jinchurikus sure are tough. I mean, come on, Naruto and the 8-tailed Jinchuriku took out Itachi and Kisame. This is no good. Tobi was still all excited though for no reason. Pain nodded his head. Yes, this why I will go to Kumo to capture the 8 tails. The 9-tailed Jinchuriku is almost with him. Either I will take both of them or the 9-tailed Jinchuriku will come to us to try to bring him back. That's when we strike him. Everyone nodded their heads and left except the only girl in the group, Konan. She was thinking about the 9-tailed Jinchuriku. Naruto, I guess he has skills that are extraordinary for only 12 years old. Konan then left to follow Pain back to retrieve the 8-tailed Jinchuriku. Time skipped 4 days. B had just finished talking with A and was shocked of what he heard. Naruto, why did you use your ultimate attack? Did something happen? Having thought of that, B decided to stay here to wait for Naruto cause he knew no one would have survived a tailed beast bomb. He went to the middle of Kumo to look at the stores to see if he can buy some ramen for Naruto when he got back. Flashback. B stood there petrified at Naruto that was scarfing down ramen noodles like they were nothing. B went to buy a lot to stock up. He left them in a pantry in a kitchen the temple housed. He then left to go get something to only return to see Naruto destroying all 57 boxes of ramen noodles. Naruto. This made Naruto flinch. Oh hey B, this is not what it seems. The ramen seduced me into eating them. It's their fault completely. Flashback end. B chuckled a bit then entered this grocery-like store to buy some more ramen when he heard people screaming outside in terror. B ran out the store to see what was happening to only see 7 people there just staring at him with red cloaks on like the ones Itachi had in Kisame. Oh Akatsuki, I would like to know how you got in here, but that will have to wait. B then pulled Kisami's sword out and prepared for what was going to happen. Time skip only because I don't know how that will turn out if they fought, but I know the ending. Pain was breathing heavily and so was the last remaining other Pain and Konan. The only reason they won was because B didn't kill the one that could regenerate the other ones, so B had to fight them all 3 times at least. B fell because of Shikara exhaustion. Pain waited for the reviving Pain to revive all the others. When that Pain was done, TTHE main Pain looked at Konan. Konan, let us be on our way. I fear the 9 tails is coming and we can't hold him off for now. We must recover. Konan, who was still trying to catch her breath, nodded her head and one of the pains grabbed B and they left. Meanwhile, Naruto has just arrived at the foreign gates of Kumo to only find no guards at the entrance. Strange, they're always here. Naruto heard a scream long ahead, making him jump into gear and ran to it to only find destruction and chaos. What the hell happened here? The Akatsuki, that's what happened. Naruto looked towards his right to see the Hokage there with a few tears in his eyes. Naruto's eyes widened. What did they do? The Hokage frowned. They took B. This made Naruto growl. What do you mean they took him? Where did they go? The Hokage pointed to the far right. Naruto nodded his head, was about to leave when the Hokage stopped him. Wait Naruto, I want you to take someone with you, Darui. Darui popped up behind the Hokage. Yes Hokage-sama. The Hokage looked at Darui. I want you to follow Naruto and help him save B. Darui nodded his head then looked at Naruto. It's a pleasure working with you. Naruto nodded his head. Yeah, nice to see the other Black Lightning user in here. Darui nodded and then they ran off to go save B. Meanwhile, Anko had just made it to the memorial for the Hokage and saw everyone there, even Sasuke with bandages on both eyes. Anko did a sad smile and walked to where Kurenai was. It took a moment for Kurenai to notice Anko because she was crying. Oh Anko, I didn't notice you there. Have you been crying for the Hokage too? Anko looked like a mess. She had bags under her eyes showing she had no sleep whatsoever and her cloths were kinda burnt from Naruto. No Kurenai, someone I loved thought I betrayed them and left me. Anko started to cry some more but Kurenai hugged her. I'm sorry Anko, but when this is done you will have to tell me who it is. Anko nodded her head and then they grieved together. When the memorial was done, Anko was brought to Kurenai's house. When they made it to her house it was complete silence until Kurenai spoke up. So Anko, who was it? Anko sighed. It was Naruto Uzumaki. Kurenai's eyes widened. Naruto, the boy you were tasked to kill. Anko nodded her head. Yeah, he escaped and after a while me and a man named Jiraiya found him and then we stayed with him for a long time. That's why I wasn't here at all for 6 years. Kurenai nodded her head. Wow Anko, when I saw him in the exams in the Forest of Death he looked really hot. Anko growled. He's mine, or he was mine until a while ago. Anko started to cry some more. Kurenai hugged her close friend. Hey, what happened? Anko then proceeded to tell her what had happened that day. When Anko was finished, Kurenai's eyes were the size of dinner plates. Oh my god, I'm so sorry Anko, I truly am. How are you going to get him back? Anko sighed. That's the point, he has probably left to go back to Kumo, and if the Hokage knows what happened in Naruto's perspective he will probably kill me himself. Anko then grabbed her legs. Maybe I should be dead. I caused Naruto too much grief for one life. I'm such a horrible person. Kurenai shook her head. No, don't you say that. You still have a chance to get him back Anko. Anko looked at Kurenai. How can I? Kurenai, I finally ruined my last chance to be with Naruto. Now hopefully he can move on and find someone else. Anko thought about for a moment, but something inside her wanted to vomit and kill someone when she thought of Naruto with a different girl. Kurenai smiled. Wow Anko, you're really that stupid. Why don't you just bring a Yamanaka with you so they can show Naruto the truth? Anko's eyes widened and she got up and hugged her best friend to death. Thank you Kurenai, why didn't I think about that? Yes, while all that's good and dandy you still have to speak to Danzo about leaving. Anko raised an eyebrow. Why? Kurenai smiled. He's acting as Hokage for now until we can find somebody to take that role. Anko nodded her head in confirmation. Okay, thank you again Kurenai, I won't forget this. Kurenai nodded her head and walked Anko out the door. Anko then shunshined to the Hokage's office and entered. There stood Danzo with the Hokage hat on. He looked up to see Anko there. Anko Mitarashi, to what do I owe the pleasure? Anko walked to the new Hokage and bowed. Hokage-sama, I'm asking permission if I can go to Kumo with an Yamanaka. Danzo raised an eyebrow. For what? For Anko? Anko smiled. I need to show someone the truth. They won't believe me and I need an Yamanaka to show him the truth. Danzo understood why she would need a Yamanaka but shook his head. I will allow you to go after you complete a mission for me. Anko wanted to scream in frustration but said nothing. What is it Hokage-sama? Danzo smiled. I need you to bring in Tsunade in so we can appoint her to the new Hokage. This made Anko raise an eyebrow. But why Hokage-sama? If they can't find a candidate they will just appoint you Hokage. Danzo made a sad smile. True, but I only wanted to become the Hokage to show I was better than Sarutobi, but when he died I felt the whole Hokage thing go away. Now I just want to help my bleeding village recover. Anko nodded her head. Who will come with me? She heard Russ tailing behind her. Why me? Of course Anko. This made Anko's sweat drop. Great, you Jiraiya, why are you here? I thought you still be at Kumo. Jiraiya just nodded his head. Well, I was until I heard the old man die, so I thought I'd come back here to send my regards even though he fucked up real bad. Anko nodded her head. Okay then, let's go. Jiraiya nodded his head and then they shunshin out of Konoha and towards where the last rumors were, where Tsunade was. That's all for now. If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments.